looks like we're live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake, helping you create something awesome today. Welcome to another live YouTube Q&A. In today's Q&A session, we're going to be focused on some of the new updates and changes to YouTube. Not just the changes that recently happened in 2018 to the YouTube Partner Program. We already covered that in a previous stream, so make sure you check that out on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the updates on YouTube's 5 priorities in 2018. We're going to get some feedback from you guys on how you feel about that. This is a message from YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki. I'm thinking that I'm pronouncing that right for once. So we're going to dive into that. I'm going to read over the new changes to you. I'm going to be taking your questions if you are in the live stream right now. First of all, thank you for joining me live. We're going to try and answer as many of your questions. Also, feel free to just keep chatting up there. And also, if you guys are interested in just supporting the channel in any way, or you want me to prioritize your questions during the live Q&A, you can always feel free to donate whatever you'd like via Super Chat. You just click over here, and next to the emojis there is a $sign, and you can donate whatever you'd like, and then your name and whatever your question is will pop up in a colored text block, so that will get my attention. I'll call it out, I'll mention you by name, and answer your questions. So super chat questions will take priority in the live Q&A portion of this. I don't think we're going to be focusing on YouTube channel reviews. We might do maybe 3 at the end for the biggest super chats if anyone is interested in that. I think that's where we'll limit it to. I'm not going to do like a bunch of them. And also, we really do need to unpack some stuff in the Q&A because I know a lot of you guys have questions about these new YouTube changes and how they affect your type of channel specifically. So we're going to be doing that. And let's see here. Yep, I also, by the way, I want to mention something. There are a bunch of resource links in the description down below, including links to the articles that are the YouTube changes, both the YouTube policy changes for 2018 that affect the YouTube Partner Program, specifically regarding small YouTubers, and some of the new updates in terms of YouTube's priorities moving forward. That is all linked up in the description down below, so make sure you're checking that out. I also have resource links for you guys, including the YouTube Starter Kit. If you are trying to grow a YouTube channel, you know that thumbnails and all of your visual assets make a huge difference in people taking your channel seriously. So that is linked down below for you. A discount code for TUEBUBUDDY to help you optimize your videos to be discovered in YouTube's search engine and discovery system. That is linked down below. You'll get 20% off TUBEBUDDY if you use my discount code. And there are a ton of other resources, and we're going to answer your questions. I also think that in addition to talking about the new YouTube changes and then answering some of your questions about them, I am going to also answer some of your questions about growing in YouTube. I see someone says, please just get to what specifically happened. If you're in a rush, guess what? You don't even have to watch the live stream. You can click on the link and read the article for yourself, but I definitely want to make sure that I address people in the Q&A. I want to make sure also that I'm setting this up for the people watching the replay so they know what it is that they can expect. So we're going to unpack all of that stuff in this video. And again, I wanted you guys to make sure you have all of the resources that you need to help you out. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And I'm going to read this article for you that the CEO, this is a message from the CEO, so that you can understand what's going on with these new YouTube policy changes. So I'm going to read this to you, and this is from the YouTube Creators blog, and I've linked it down below for you guys if you want to read it for yourself. But I'm going to read this in its entirety, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go through it line by line and tell you what my thoughts are and answer your questions. So let me go ahead and obviously do some water, and then we will jump into this, because this one is going to take some water. It's going to require water. All right. And Alex Fishing, thank you for the super chat donation. But let's jump into, I'll answer your question, Alex. But first, let's jump into this letter from Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, aka who I refer to as Aunt Susan, just because it's easier than pronouncing her last name. Right, so Susan writes, "Dear YouTube creators, I want to start off 2018 the same way I want to see it through, with a spirit of openness, transparency, and enthusiasm. So to kick off the year, I wanted to share our top priorities with you for YouTube 2018. Number 1, prioritizing transparency and communication. In 2018, we want to do everything we can to strengthen the trust that our community places in YouTube through open and frequent communication. Last year, we communicated through a lot of blog posts and product forums, but going forward, we'll also use our @YouTubeCreators, YT Creators, and @TeamYouTube handles to keep you informed, answer your questions, and respond quickly to issues. We'll also use email to notify you of news or updates, so be sure to sign up here." And then there's a link, so you might want to do that. "We often ask creators for feedback before launching updates and new features. We'll be doing even more of this to make sure our changes are informed by your perspective. Personally, I've always tried to meet with creators at industry events and when I travel to a new country so I can hear your feedback directly and relay any issues to the right teams at YouTube. Since I can't meet with most creators in person, I started a YouTube channel as a way to share my perspective. Though I haven't shared much yet, I plan to use my channel more in 2018 to engage with creators and the community." Number 2, supporting your success. We were pleased that in 2017 the number of creators making 6 figures a year grew by 40%. But even as our platform continues to do well around the world, too many of you unfortunately had to learn a new word in 2017, demonetization. We understand the frustration you feel when one of your videos is demonetized or age-gated and the impact it has on your views and your revenue. While we worked hard this year to provide an appeal system and quicker responses to creators when a video is demonetized, we've heard loud and clear that we need a better system. We're currently working on a more accurate solution that includes more human review of your content while also taking your own input into account, since you know your videos best. Addressing your concerns about demonetization is a top priority of ours, and we'll continue to share updates with you throughout the year. At the same time, we're working on giving you more ways to earn money from your channels beyond advertising. We launched Super Chat as a way to help you earn revenue during live streams and acquired FameBit to help you partner with brands for influencer marketing partnerships. This year, you'll see us make a big push to launch YouTube Red, our subscription offering, and a revamped YouTube Music experience in new markets. We're also giving fans the ability to sponsor some of their favorite gaming creators for a monthly fee and plan to extend that option to more channels later this year. And we're testing new ways for creators to earn revenue or raise money right on your channel through donations, merchandise, and ticketing sales. Number 3, giving people more ways to engage with video. YouTube has transformed video viewing from a one-way broadcast experience to a two-way conversation. This year, we will continue to build out all the ways you and your fans can connect on our platform to help build meaningful interactions, connect with people, shared interest, and strengthen our community. Currently, we offer some fundamental ways for creators and fans to interact, including the ability to like, comment, and share a video, and subscribe to channels. In fact, the number of viewers subscribing to creators and encouraging their channels and engaging with their channels every day grew 70% in the last year. But there is a much larger opportunity to build engagement around video. Some of the features we began to roll out include giving creators more access to our community tab and Reels. Our new way to create fast, lightweight... Some of the features we've begun to roll out include giving more creators access to our community tab and Reels. Our new way to create fast, lightweight stories. We will push new innovations in AR and VR to create more immersive experiences. Stay tuned. Tightening and enforcing our policies. The nature of an open platform means that we never know what trends or moments are going to arise next. But the same creativity and unpredictability that makes YouTube so rewarding, like the fact that a reggaeton song can become the most popular video in history, can also lead to unfortunate events where we need to take clear, informed, and principled stance. Some of our policies are no-brainers, like preventing people from impersonating other channels or using misleading thumbnails. But others are far more nuanced and unique to YouTube. We realize that we have a serious social responsibility to get these emerging policy issues right. And by the way, you can see what happens when I can't jump cut, right? Excuse me. So we seek advice from dozens of expert advisors and third parties. For example, on issues of hate speech, we work with the Anti-Defamation League in the U.S., and on issues of self-harm, we work with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. These third parties have been essential in helping us refine our policies, and we will continue to work with them throughout 2018. We'll also improve the enforcement of our policies. See, this is why I don't use a teleprompter. Christ. I can't even see without my glasses. We'll also improve the enforcement of our policies through a combination of human review and machine learning technology. In 2018, our goal is to bring the total number of people across YouTube and Google working to address content that might violate our policies to over 10,000. Using machine learning, we now also allow creators to automatically review and hold potentially offensive comments. In 2017, we also made progress to better surface content from authoritative news sources, both on the homepage, in a new quote-unquote breaking news section, and in search. Because the role news plays in our lives is so critical, we'll seek to work closely with our news partners to roll out more solutions in this area in 2018. And we're also developing policies that would lead to consequences if a creator does something egregious that causes significant harm to our community as a whole. While these instances are rare, they can damage the reputation and revenue of your fellow creators. So we want to make sure that we have policies in place that allow us to respond appropriately. Investing more in learning and education. Learning and education content drives over 1 billion views a day on YouTube. That is a remarkable statistic, and to me it represents the incredible work our creators have done to help usher in a new way of learning. I'm passionate about education because it's an area where YouTube can be transformative and really benefit the world. It can help people who don't have the time, money, or access to take a class to still learn something new. And it can help transform learning from something we only invest in when we're young to something that becomes a lifelong pursuit. Personally, YouTube creators have helped me learn new things, from fixing appliances in my home to raising chickens to answering my questions about black holes or dark matter. And millions more turn to YouTube every day for job skills and learning to use Excel and acing an interview. The potential of our creators to enhance education and learning is incredible, so we're going to do more to take advantage of the massive modern-day video library that YouTube has become. That includes working with our educational creators to bring more of their content to the platform, as well as expert organizations like Goodwill to provide and even feature more high-quality job skill videos on YouTube. As YouTube grows, I want to remain focused on our mission to give everyone a voice and show them the world. It's my commitment in 2018 to ensure we do this responsibly with greater openness, smarter policies, more engaging products, more revenue for creators, and higher emphasis on learning and education. I'm thankful to everyone who's made the community such a special, inspiring, and meaningful place, and I feel privileged to be a part of it. I hope all of you are looking forward to YouTube's best, most transparent, and most exciting year yet as much as I am. Susan. All right, so that is the letter from Susan Wojcicki. CEO of YouTube. Wow, that took a lot more out of me to read through all of that than I originally anticipated. That was a long letter. That was I need to. Andrew says, notice how none of this addresses smaller creators. Andrew, all of this addresses smaller creators. Give me a more nuanced response than that, please, Andrew. Give me some actual, nuanced, thoughtful response on why you don't feel that address smaller creators. I think it absolutely addresses smaller creators. It didn't get specific. I sometimes worry if like something doesn't say small YouTubers in it, or something doesn't say gaming YouTubers in it, or something doesn't say beauty YouTubers in it, it goes over people's heads and they don't know how to apply it to themselves. So, since that's the case, I'll give some context and nuance to this because people sometimes, I'm not attacking you, I'm a little frustrated that people can't read between the lines and then they make emotional responses about something that's supposed to be perfectly rational. A primary example would be this. The fact that they talked about rolling out the community tab, the more creators. The community tab is currently available at 10,000 subscribers. So when they talk about rolling features like that in Reels out, that clearly means that they're going to roll it out to more people, which suggests that it's going to be creators under 10,000. Maybe creators will get access to this at 1,000 subscribers. Also, 10,000 subscriber YouTubers are small YouTubers. So anyone at 10,000 or under is a relatively small YouTuber. I think that sometimes the smaller, even smaller YouTubers at sub 1,000 subs take a lot of things personally that they should approach in a much more clinical way. At 1,000 subscribers, it's not practical for the platform to make things revolve around you yet, because at 1,000 subscribers, you're still usually either one, very new to the platform yourself, or you're not very invested in the platform just yet, because growth is usually proportionate to either commitment, consistency, the level of creativity, the level of connection you have with the community, or the threshold of talent or ability that you would have. And that's not a criticism of small creators or to say, oh, you guys aren't talented, or oh, you're not trying enough. But realistically speaking, you have to consider that if you use this in the analogy of a sport, the first year that you play a sport, the first 20 times that you play a sport, you are not good at it unless you are tremendously naturally gifted. And so the frustration that comes from doing something a year or 2 years, when to be reasonably good at a sport or an instrument, we respect it to a degree where we would never entertain the idea of being good at it after doing it 20 or 30 times or doing it for a year or two. Sports and music and things like that are given a much greater depth of respect for the effort involved. I don't know why YouTube creators don't respect that YouTube probably is just as demanding and just as difficult, maybe even more so, because it requires a combination of creative ability, communication skills, technical ability, and then you have to navigate the culture of the platform in real time with regard to trends. That's not something that everybody can do, or that everybody should expect that they're good at right away. And so that's my frustration with the lack of patience in the community, that why would you expect anything to come out of this relatively quickly just because it happened for other people? Those people might be anomalies, they may not be you, they might have different talents or skills or experiences. When I grew on YouTube, I came to YouTube with a lot of technical skills from my job in corporate America. So, that's what my kind of feelings on some of those things are. And again, I'm not attacking anybody specifically. I'm just like, that's a frustration that I always feel compelled, to voice. To Andrew's point, and I'm going to answer some more questions here. My main point was that Susan made all of this fuss about talking to creators more at industry events or using their Twitter accounts and email. Well, to that point, I would say, as somebody that's in business myself, is that being at industry events is the most practical way to engage with people at a top level. I would never expect to be able to engage with a C-level executive of a multinational company outside of an industry forum of some kind, or through, or unless it's through the proper channels. So that's just something to just take into consideration from a perspective. But I'm gonna look through some more of you guys' questions here, and remember, super chat questions, will get priority, and I'm going to also circle back because Alex Fishing actually had a question via super chat, donated $10. Thank you, Alex. And also, I cannot pronounce. I'm going IZXY MSP. Thank you for the. I think it's a buck New Zealand money. Thank you. But I cannot pronounce any of that. Alex asked, any insight as to why some channels like mine, it takes 250 views to turn a subscriber. I'm at 670,000 overall channel views and 2,870 subscribers. Well, Alex, your niche is fishing specifically. Fishing is an activity and a hobby that has a level of, one, a very specific interest attached to it, a degree of actual skill and physicality attached to it. It's going to be a mostly male audience, but it's also going to be a mostly male audience that is probably between 24 and 44 because of the physicality involved and also access to water and a boat. Also, these are going to be people who may not necessarily be as tech savvy and may not have as much of their time spent on YouTube. Also, you have to consider that those people, when they are spending their free time, they're spending it fishing. So only so many of the people that are fishing are also spending time on the internet on YouTube videos about other people fishing. So, I would say that you have to look at what the biggest channel in your niche is, Alex, and which is fishing, and you'd have to kind of understand what the pattern and the trend was, how long it took that person to grow. It also gives you an idea of what the maximum potential size of an audience for what you're doing is. So that's what I would say about it. So in terms of competing, I would say think of it in that perspective that you have to look at what some of the other people in the fishing niche are doing. It is also, yes, considered a sport. So I would say that you also could look at what another sports channel is doing and start to reverse engineer strategies from that. Also, it might literally be a factor of asking for the subscribe a little bit more quickly in the video. Waiting to the end is a staple of YouTube. It's a tradition, but a lot of YouTubers that I've seen grow a lot more quickly ask for the subscribe earlier on in the video, and they give a specific reason why someone should subscribe. And it's a reason that's not about them as a creator, but it's a reason about what's satisfying for the viewer. So I would say that that's something you could do, Alex, and maybe that would help you. So that's my insight on your type of channel. So let's see. Breezy Natural, I probably didn't see your question for one reason or another. So just ask your question again, and I'll try and see if I can get it. And I'm not sure what stumbled over the entire thing means. So Breezy Natural, what's your question? Since you think I'm gonna call you out on this since you're in my super chat calling me out this. What was your question and what was so dissatisfying about my answer to your question? Because here's the thing. not every question, and I say this, not every question is probably going to 100% be something that I know about. And I will admit that if that's the case. But what I will say is that I try. And so if I don't give anyone a satisfying answer, then it's because I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And also my answer may not be anybody else's answer. Oh, Breezy Natural, you're saying it wasn't you? Okay. Oh, meaning it wasn't me. Got you. Okay, so it wasn't me, it was somebody else in a super chat. Well, what was the question you asked them? Because then maybe I can help you. If someone didn't answer your question in a super chat and you paid them $5 and their answer was lame, like, try me. Maybe my answer is going to be better than theirs. Maybe it's something I can help you with. Maybe it's something I do know. Because again, I don't know everything, guys, and I'll tell you that right out. But here's the beauty of having a great community, and this is why I love you guys, is there's so many smart people in this community that if I don't know something, there's a guarantee that someone in this community actually has the answer. Because, like, one of my friends, Mike Russell, tremendous creator here on YouTube. He's still not at 100,000 subscribers yet, but he's probably one of the smartest audio engineers on YouTube. I use his tutorials so that my audio is getting better and better every week. So I'm working on that because Mike is putting out great value, and he always answers my questions. In fact, I hired his company to start doing the production for my podcast. So, that's something to think about, is there's always someone in this community that has an answer. Always. Kyle's Wild World. Thank you, buddy, for the $20 super chat. That is very generous of you. Kyle says, I have not been able to collect AdSense due to a Google glitch. It says my bank account is closed, but I use it daily and won't allow me to add or update the bank info. Is there anyone I can contact or hire to resolve this? So my answer to that would be, I would try opening a new AdSense account and then putting in the correct information, or use a different account since that was a banking glitch. And then I would just re-link the channel to this new AdSense account. I would associate with that. I would also reach out to the YouTube support via email and see if they can also help you with that manually with any change or updates. So I would try that. That's what I would say. Chef Hanks, I'm going to get to you in a second. Watchtower, $20 super chat. Wow, thank you. That's super generous. Since taking your advice, fixing up thumbnails, and using TubeBuddy, everything is picking up. I always recommend your videos to everyone. Watchtower, how much of the has the increase been? I'm curious about that. Like, what's the uptick look like? Cake Pop Claire, I used your Adobe Audition tutorial to help with my newest video. Thanks. It sounds a lot better. Anthony says, thanks for the great private channel review the other day, Roberto. It gave me some solid direction that I'll be rolling out next week. It's very valuable to have an outside perspective. Yeah, I actually do one-on-one consulting and coaching for you guys. So, yeah, definitely. Cooking channels. Okay, so my thoughts on cooking channels would be that I would want to break out different formats and different shows for a cooking channel. And I would say that recipes is definitely one thing, but I also think prep and also some of the tools, and I also think some type of Q&A format for cooking channels. I think some reviews I think definitely helps in terms of what you use. So that's kind of one of the things I would look at. Also, I would look at the strongest channels in a cooking niche to see what people are doing and what they're responding to. Like, I would read the comments in another cooking channel more than I would even worry about the way they produce their videos, but I would look at that too. And also with cooking channels, I think thumbnails are really a big deal. So I would look at those, and I would also kind of look at what's going viral in cooking, and then look and break down and analyze every single thing about some of the viral cooking videos. And then I would look at my format and think about how many elements can I take from this viral video and incorporate it into the type of cooking content that I do every week. And so I would look at things like that. Breezy Natural, what was the question that the other guy didn't do very well in answering on $5 super chat? Because now I'm super curious, and I also am wondering if I can answer that question. So let's do that. Yep, yeah, Breezy was referring to another person. Your boy Sam asked, Roberto, are one-word tags better than long tags? No, one-word tags suck. Don't use them. Let's see. Rosa Bonadonna says, I don't tag my videos a lot. Do you think it makes a difference if I would tag them? I do believe that makes a difference. I know that it makes a difference because tags are used not only in the ranking algorithm, but titles and descriptions count for more in ranking, but tags matter too. But tags are also calculated and utilized in matching you to the appropriate ads that also pay the most. So, that matters. Any info on how to grow gaming/news TV YouTube channel? Reference the interview I did with Bijou Mike Lucas, and we talk about how he grew over the last 2 years. He started with 1,000 subscribers. He's at about 1 million now. He went from about 1,000 to 1 million in 2 years. So watch the interview I did with him, and that will probably help you if you're doing gaming. That's pretty much going to be my answer going forward for all the gaming channels. Let's see. Breezy, yeah, you don't have to say whoever's name it was. I just need to know what your question is so that I can try and help. You could also tweet me the question. Dose of Dad says, I have to agree on the YouTube starter kit. Since I started using it, I've seen about a 40% increase on views on my typical videos. The difference has been night and day. Wow, so like by changing your thumbnails, the difference was night and day. And by the way, he's referencing the YouTube starter kit, guys. If you're not familiar with the YouTube starter kit, let me just kind of show you a little bit of what that's about. So over on my online education platform, awesomecreatoracademy.com, where I've got exclusive content, mentoring, coaching, and courses, I have a digital product called the YouTube Starter Kit. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is something to help you get started, especially if you're a small creator. It's not a course, although I do have some content in there that is tip-based. That's the minimum of it. What it is I give you unlimited access to literally over 100 templates for YouTube. Literally dozens upon dozens of templates. 70 thumbnail templates. So we have multiple thumbnail packs. We have 70 templates for that. YouTube channel artwork, end cards, all the Photoshop stuff that I'm good at, like how I have my live streaming interface that I did in Photoshop for Super Chat. Well, I've used my Photoshop skills to replicate some of the coolest trends in YouTube as far as thumbnails and give that to you so that you can download those Photoshop files, edit them with your own text and photos, and all of a sudden you've got really good thumbnails. And we've got every kind of pretty much thumbnail you could need. And here's the beauty of it. We also have it for channel artwork and for graphics like YouTube end cards and lower thirds. And if you don't have Photoshop, you can go to this cool website called photop.com, spelled like peas in a pod. And basically, that's pretty much a browser-based version of Photoshop, and you can use that to open up PSD files, and you can go ahead and pretty much use it exactly the way that you would use Photoshop. It has the same tools, and this is all open source. It's free with ads. You can see the little Google ad on the side there, so that's how they make their money, but they also have a paid version. But if you combine that free tool with the YouTube Starter Kit, then you have the ability to make these cool thumbnails that will get more clicks or more views, more watch time, all those things. And then we have a couple of other assets in here. I've got some Canva assets. I've got 100 ideas for you for making videos. I've got a list of the free fonts you can download, some of the best free fonts out there. Also some royalty-free music. And I even had a friend make 10 royalty-free tracks specifically for you that you can download as well. So we got a lot of stuff that I'm adding to it, so you'll get all the new updates if you get it. So you can go to the link in the description for that, and it's over at awesomecreatoracademy.com along with some other stuff where I offer like one-on-one coaching. So if you guys are interested, that is a resource that you can use. And a couple of people were actually talking about the starter kit in the live chat because they've been using it and it's been helping them to increase their views. Oh, Clover Tack, thank you for the $5 super chat, buddy. Super appreciate that. Let's see here. Hustle. Yep, thanks so much. Let's see. What else have we got going on in the questions? What's your best advice for family channels? For family channels, I think that you have to think about what the storyline of your channel actually is. Like, is there some meaning? And what's special and unique about your family? Like, if you think about, like, vlogs should be thought of, especially family vlogs, should be thought of like family sitcoms from the 90s. Family Matters was, about a middle-class African-American family in America with a cop as a father, Carl Winslow, and the annoying neighbor, Steve Urkel. Boy Meets World was about a white middle-class family in the suburbs where you had Corey Matthews and his best friend Sean Hunter, the kid from the wrong side of the tracks, and his elementary school crush and him growing up. It was very reminiscent of the Wonder Years. In fact, it starred Fred Savage, the younger brother of Ben Savage from the Wonder Years. So it's kind of a spiritual successor to that. So again, the Wonder Years was about a family growing up in the Vietnam War period and all the things with that and what it's like to be in the suburbs and suburban life. So think about what about your family situation in a sitcom step by step. Step by Step was about a step family, about these two families coming together. So that was it. Family of Five. Family of Five was about older siblings raising their younger siblings because their parents died in a car accident and the struggles going with that. So for vlogs should have a storyline that's based on what the unique dynamic of your actual family is. Watchtower says, from a month ago, I've bumped from 125 views to 125 subs to 280 subs with a 70% increase in watch time. Well, that's phenomenal. Wow. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Pandatzu says, hi, Roberto. What do you think about music channels? What would you want to see on a YouTube music topic? Or what do you think might work? It depends on what you want to do. It depends on whether you're making music, which the obvious formula is to reverse engineer majestic sounds and Trap City and things of that nature. But also, Needle Drop Reviews is a good music reviewer channel, so it really depends on what you want to do and where you want to go with that, because there are different types of music channels. Beanie Draws, thank you for the $5 super chat, buddy. Your question is, just wondering, would a 2-year-old unpublished video have its date and position be based on its upload date or its published date? Keep inspiring, bro. I think that it would be based on its upload date if it's unlisted. Unlike a private video, which I know is based on its publication date, unlisted video, I think, is based on its upload date. So that would be the difference. Diego, I'm not sure if it's against term service to create a second AdSense account per se, but he could always delete the existing AdSense account and link over the new one. That's why I recommend reaching out to support for an answer on that specifically. Yabby Addison says, your content is always so helpful, Roberto. What ways are there to find trending videos besides the YouTube and Google Trends page? Twitter is phenomenal for finding trending topics, especially in real time, and also hashtag culture in Instagram. I would look at Instagram and Twitter beyond YouTube and YouTube Trends and Google Trends. That's something that I would definitely take a look at. Cetria's Art and Comics channel says, it seems that the YouTube letter is focused more towards hub and tutorial content, not hero content. What do you think it means for art channels? Well, art channels don't necessarily do what I would consider to be a lot of hero content, and I feel that art channels do more things that lend themselves to help and hub content in the first place. Um, and so I would say that I don't really feel like this negatively impacts art channels by their nature. I think that YouTube saying that it's prioritizing a focus here in terms of some of the features that it's going to implement and some of the places it's going to invest money don't necessarily undermine any particular type of channel. I think in general, what we will see despite audience demand is that my prediction is over the next 2 years, YouTube prank channels are going to suffer the fate that like animators on YouTube suffered. I think that's coming. I think that YouTube prank channels are going to get undermined dramatically. I think that the culture and the PR problems around YouTube prank channels right now, news channels and political commentary channels are suffering the most. My prediction, if I was going to make one between 2018 and 2020, is that YouTube prank channels, despite audience demand and the young demographic that they reach, are going to start dying. I think that YouTube prank channels will have to shift toward comedy and vlogs. That's a different, more skit comedy and a vlogging style to survive. And I think that people can do that. I think that an example of what you're seeing with that being successful leans less away from, say, the Paul brothers and more closely to Liza Koshy, David Dobrik. I think that David and Liza represent where the pivot in the genre would have to go to survive, and less the Paul brothers. So that would be a prediction that I would make. It's the direction that I would try to right the ship if I were in that situation. So I that's what I'm thinking. Let's see. We got a couple of more things here. Super chat. Vipa, how's it going? What's up, Roberto? You are doing great things and just want to thank you. I just started YouTube and I'm excited to see where it takes me. Like, it's never been a better time, buddy. Never been a better time. Sparky Blast, thank you for the $5 euro. Do you think there is a particular algorithm to choosing an effective YouTube name? I want to pick something unique. Would you advise a descriptive name or abstract? I would pick something easy to spell and easy to pronounce. I legit feel that a YouTube name that is easy to spell and easy to pronounce should be the number one priority when it comes to picking a YouTube name. Like, that's real to me. How long does it normally take to get to 100 subscribers? Stumped ask. Nope. There's no normal. Every genre is different. Every creator is different. Every audience is different. So there is no straight up answer for that. Arc Rush says, Roberto, YouTube is deleting channels. And he says it in all caps. Well, it's their platform. Speedy Adventures. Can you tell me how to make a YouTube logo like Preston Plays is a fireball and DMT Dan DM is a diamond? How do they make that? Photoshop tutorials, buddy. Look up graphic design and Photoshop tutorials, and that is your legit answer, because that's how doing artwork works. You either hire somebody to do it or you learn how to do it. My uncle taught me how to draw, so that's how I learned all of the art stuff, and then I learned graphic design by teaching myself in the primitive days in the internet, before the empire, before Google, the dark times. So that's how I did it. Watchtower says, I'm going to be dismissed from my MCN after the 20th because I don't meet the requirements. Do you think there's even a reason to join one later? In general, if you're a small YouTube creator under 100,000 subscribers, unless you need protection for copyright material in terms of fair use, Don't join a MCN. Do not join a multi-channel network. Don't join a multi-channel network if you have less than 100,000 subscribers. Here's why. In most cases, multi-channel networks will take 50% or more of your revenue when you're a small creator. So even if you qualify for the YouTube Partner Program, whatever little bit of money you're making, they would take 50%. And they don't usually do that much for you. They only get brand deals for their biggest talent and creators. At your level, you won't get a better split of the ad revenue pool. And also, anything that they're offering you in terms of resources are things you could get on your own. If you watch YouTube training tutorials for myself and Tim Schmoyer and Dylan Eves and Owen Video and Nick Nimmin and Brian G. Johnson and so on, that Sonny Lenarduzzi, Amy Schmittauer, then we give you everything in terms of how to do for yourself, most of what a multi-channel network could do for you. So if that's the case, a multi-channel network takes half of your money for your early YouTube career without providing you a lot of value. It's only after you get to like 100,000 subscribers that you can negotiate a better deal, usually with a multi-channel network, where you get an 80-20 split or a 90-10 split, and where they also help you with increased ad revenue. And the only other reason to join is typically copyright protections. So that's definitely what I would say about that. Kevin Patilla says, if you had a fitness channel, what would you focus on? If I had a fitness channel, I would initially focus on my first like 30 to 50 videos would all be how-to videos that are searched and recommended around topics for getting fit and getting healthy and losing weight. Most people, especially at the beginning of the year, they're trying to lose weight, or they're trying to tone up a specific set of muscles, like, you know, arms, legs, something like that, or they're trying to pick up a workout routine, like how to start running or how to start jogging or how to get in shape. So I would start at the beginning of the year with making 30 to 50 videos that are how to ... and it's all focused on that. I would probably make 10 different videos on how to lose weight. I would probably make a lot of fitness videos that also focused on specific areas of the body, and then I would also do a bunch of how to lose belly fat videos, and I would do videos for people with back problems, knee problems, neck problems, etc. And I would make those a core focus because of the large number of people that are trying to solve that particular problem, and that would create a trust funnel for me. So that's why I would start with as a fitness channel. I also, from day one, would have merchandise, and I would plug my merchandise in my fitness channel in every single video, and I would wear my merchandise in every single video, and that is how I would do a fitness channel if I had one. And I would also build a virtual platform and business the same way that I built my platform for education, Awesome Creator Academy, and I built products like the YouTube Starter Kit to specifically help YouTubers. I would use that same business model, just like how I have a $99 digital product here. What if you did a fitness product that is a $200 fitness product? What if you did a like $5 set of meal plans? What if you did some stuff with some ebooks? And then what if you had some kind of virtual training product that's similar to when people used to buy these workout DVDs? What you'll notice about my online education platform is I have a subscription model. So I have a $59 a month membership group. I have over 100 students in Awesome Creator Academy. Back when we were in beta, I ran a discount. So I have a mentoring group for online entrepreneurs, whether they're marketers or YouTubers or creative professionals, virtual CEOs, etc. We have a couple of people who are doing VA businesses. And actually, we have a fitness entrepreneur in the group as well. And we do mentoring, training, mastermind groups, private content, all kinds of things. And I charge $59 a month for that. You could do a fitness group that is like, you know, $30 a month or something like that, that has exclusive private training videos, meal plan download kits, motivation stuff, all kinds of things, and live virtual training. You could do that, and you could set up a membership so you'd get monthly revenue there. I set up private coaching with me. You could set up private coaching with you for something that might be health or dietary created with fitness business. and you could charge for that. You know, I have a thing where YouTube channel reviews. I have all these other services. So I have more services than products right now, but you could always build out more products. So if you were a fitness entrepreneur, I would build a YouTube channel that has a bunch of how-to content, and I would funnel that to two things. I would funnel that to my online fitness courses and nutrition plans and products, and I would also funnel it to my merchandise. And then if you want to build an Amazon drop shipping business around supplements, I would do something like that. So, you know, those are the kind of things I would do. By the way, guys, if you want to check out awesomecreatoracademy.com, I've got links in the description. And remember, YouTube Starter Kit specifically is a digital product I made to help YouTubers. You get over 100 Photoshop templates, and you get all kinds of other downloads, and I am still even updating this with new resources. So you just tell me what you want to get in it, and I will add it to the product. Right now, we've got a crap ton of Photoshop thumbnail templates. We also got YouTube channel artwork templates. I think we're going to do some more channel artwork templates and focus on a couple of different genres. So, you know, just let me know what you want to see there, but we got plenty of stuff for you, and it definitely could help you with getting more views, getting more clicks, and there are a bunch of people right here in the live stream can tell you exactly how it helped them with their channel. So you can check that out. Links in the description. Depending on when you're watching this, I might have a discount code. We stopped our 50% off sale at the end of January, but for live stream viewers, I do have a special link with a code, so you guys can check that out. Get a little something off. So make sure you're checking that out. We got a couple of more super chats here, so let me check those out. Let me answer a few more questions. Lena Shear, thank you for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate you. The traveling introvert, I'm going to answer your question here in a bit. I saw a $5 super chat from Natural Breeze, and I want to definitely make sure I hit her up. Breezy Natural. Breezy Natural asks, thanks, Roberto. I appreciate that you actually care about your audience. Thanks for taking the time to help us out, and I will send my tweet later. Oh, you'll tweet me the question that you have later. All right, that's cool. So I appreciate that. The traveling introvert. 6 months after launching, someone started a channel using my name, but with spaces. I get more views, but will this be a problem in the future? Love your content and glad to support. The traveling introvert, I don't think that them using spaces or dashes, I don't think that that's going to hurt you in terms of branding. I feel like if you get more views, you will be the person who's dominant. Just stay on top of that and make sure you're getting more views, make sure you're growing the subscriber base, make sure that you're making sure that the brand is more attuned to you than anybody else. And so that's how you stop anyone from undermining you and the brand name. So just double down. Double down. Stephen Cornelius. Love that name. So Stephen Cornelius, $20 super chat. Thank you. That's super generous of you. Thanks, Roberto. Started in January 2017 with 600 subs and learned some things from you. Allowed me to finish the year with over 70K subs. Stephen, that is phenomenal. So Stephen Cornelius went from 600 subscribers in the beginning of January 2017, and a year later, he's at over 70K. He's on his way to a silver play button. He's on his way to one of, let me not break this. He's on his way to one of these. So if you're at 70,000 subscribers and you started last year with just 600, you're getting one of those. That's going to happen. That's going to happen for you soon, so I super appreciate that. Reach out to me in Twitter DMs, Stephen, because I want to do a case study around what grew your channel, because I think that doing case studies will be super helpful for people. And I think that's something that I want to do a little bit more of, because I think that case studies and also interviews around how people specifically did it. Because again, a lot of people in my space, you know, and I do a lot of this like how-to content, but there are people, and I understand skepticism. Some people are like, hey, I've been doing this for years, or I listen to all the gurus and nothing works and blah, blah, blah. And I totally can appreciate that, and that some people are skeptical. But the thing is, you have a lot of skeptics out there, but for every one of those skeptics, there are dozens of people that have done the stuff and it works, and they're just sitting quietly in the cut, happy with their success. I need to bring out more of the success stories, because then less people will be skeptical and people will actually invest. in what they're doing and in their growth, and they'll hustle harder and they'll put more time, they'll put more effort in, because I think everyone's afraid to waste their time. And I mean, I just feel like it's part of the journey. Take a risk. And if you love what you're doing, it's not a waste of time, even if you don't get what you thought you were going to get out of it. I mean, you know how many years I spent drawing that I didn't get anything out of it other than the pure enjoyment of it? I mean, when I was first learning to video edit, it was before YouTube ever came out. I started video editing before YouTube came out. You guys remember LimeWire and BearShare and things like that? Remember Adobe Premiere 6.0? That's when I started editing. I started editing back in the day, and we didn't have free video hosting platforms. The closest we could do is we would have to host ASF files or real media files and put them up on AngelFire, Lycos, and GeoCities websites where we get 50 megs of free space, and everything takes forever to buffer. This is way back when, before YouTube. This was 6, 7, 8 years before YouTube, and that's when I got started. And I enjoyed it. I was doing it for fun. I was doing it to share with my friends. There was no like counter. There was no subscriber counter. There was no view counter. We had no idea. So we did things, because I hear so much the complaint from small YouTubers is, why would I make things if no one's going to see them? Why would I make things if I'm not going to make any ad money off of them? And we did it to do it. We did it because we enjoyed it for years. And what did that give me? It gave me skills, and it gave me something to show my friends, and it gave me something to show people that I could edit videos, which then did make me some money because I used my skills. I was a freelancer. I always did things to show my skills, and that's even how my channel started, was showing my skills so that I could get work, showing my smarts so I could get work. And I built my business, and by the time YouTube started making any ad money, I didn't even need the ad money by that point. That's just how I got to put more money into fancy equipment, because I didn't need the ad money to live off of. Because I wasn't making ad money enough to live off of for 3 years of doing content. My money was coming from a combination of all the other online ventures that I was doing that were making money, freelancing until those things worked out, and affiliate marketing, driving traffic off of YouTube, which actually hurt the growth of my channel, still does, because I still drive so much of my YouTube traffic to other things that make me more money, that I literally have, I've been cutting the growth of my channel by 60% because I drive so much traffic from YouTube to affiliate programs, to my own products and services, and to other things that make me money. I've been driving so much of my YouTube traffic to that I'm doing crazy session ends that hurt me in the algorithm, which also hurt my views growing, which it makes me look bad to some of you guys, but I'm happy because I'm making more money. So that's my answer to it is, I'd rather grow my business than grow my channel. The channel's big enough to do anything I need it to do from a leverage standpoint, from a marketing standpoint. My credentials and my speaking career is big enough to do anything I could get out of YouTube. My other ventures are big enough finally to actually do it on their own. So I don't even have to grow the channel. I'm here more for the community and to use more marketing leverage and to challenge myself creatively at this point, because I figured it out. Now, for someone getting started, that's well, how does that help me? It's about perspective. It's about the fact that I think more of you should do merch. I think more of you should make your own platform like I did with Awesome Creator Academy. I think more of you should build businesses around the skills that you have to make video. Until making video is making you enough money, use the skills. Some of you could start a business around editing for people, and you could edit for other YouTubers. I'm looking for editors. You could do that. You could be doing Photoshop stuff. You could be producing videos for people and for brands. Sarah Dietschy started out, we did an interview, she told you herself, she started out freelancing, editing, and shooting corporate videos, boring corporate videos and interviews, and was making hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars a day doing that and making a living until YouTube took off for her. So she used the skills as a YouTuber to make money before being a YouTuber was viable. So that's something I definitely wanted to throw out to you guys. Phillips Fam Bam, $10 super chat. Thank you. Guillermo Paz, basically the equivalent of $10 because of the color coding in whatever your currency is. Appreciate you, buddy. I'm a college professor in social media in Argentina. Okay, so it's like 100 Argentinian bucks, which is $10 US. Thank you. Is there any way I can interview for you for my students? Guillermo, reach out to me on Twitter at Roberto Blake and hit me up to interview me for your students. Would love to. Would love to. My boy David Darian Ross, how's it going? $5. Thank you so much, David. Just wanted to let you know I've been having some awesome success, so much due to your tips and training. Just passed 5,100 highly engaged subs. You rock. Thank you, David. You rock. Appreciate that. Checking out the rest of these super chats here, making sure I didn't miss anybody. So far, so good. Haven't missed anybody. Ted Time says, how do I get 4,000 hours of watch time? Super vague question, Ted. Super vague question. Here's what I would do. If I were starting from zero today, and I have some secret channels, so this is not completely abstract, the answer to me would be to upload, and I wouldn't be rushing to my 4,000 watch hours, but that's me. But in general, I think that if you release content in the form of 5-part series, you have a better shot of getting more watch time than trying to get one individual video to go big, because videos that can support each other and can create session loops and watch time loops perform more effectively. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that tactic from someone other than me, but session loops and watch time loops are real, and it's beyond just playlist strategy. It's involved. It's intentional. So when you create a how to back up your video footage part 1 of 5 or part 1 of 3, it actually matters. Of course, more people watch part 1 than part 5, but some people might watch part 3 more than part 1 even by itself, and maybe some people go back and forth and they have an episodic thing to get through. So you could do a 5-part series. If I were just starting out on YouTube, I would do nothing but series. I would do 5 parts to something, and then 3 parts to something, and then 5 parts to a different thing, and so on and so forth. And every week, I would just be putting out different series of playlists that are videos 1 through 3, videos 1 through 5, or whatever, every single week. And the beauty of it is I could just batch record part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, all in one day, edit them another day, put them scheduled to upload and release, and just do these different series. And I would keep asking my audience, well, what series do you want me to do next? Or here are my ideas, vote, and give them polls and make them interact. And that's how I would grow all the watch time that I would need. It's also how I would get subscribers, and it's how I would get views, and it's how I would attract interest in my channel. So I would pick a specific niche. I would pick like one specific niche. I would think about 3 to 5 subcategories under that niche, focus my channel on that so they're not overwhelmed. Chicken, ribs, fish. So, that would be my thing. I mean, it's smart. Look at Peter Mckinnon. Peter Mckinnon focuses on some very specific things. Peter Mckinnon is a YouTube creator, a filmmaker, and a photographer. Okay? So, Peter Mckinnon focuses on tutorials for Photoshop, Lightroom, and Adobe Premiere Pro in terms of his tutorials on software. When it comes to social media stuff, Peter Mckinnon makes videos about Instagram, okay? And in general, when it comes to camera gear, Peter focuses on Canon because that's the brand of Canon gear. So he focuses on camera gear and then camera tips and tricks, video production stuff. So that's some very focused types of content. It's not confusing. Basically, if you own a camera, you can follow Peter Mckinnon. If you want to grow an Instagram, you can follow Peter Mckinnon. If you want to learn some Photoshop and Lightroom stuff as a photographer, you can follow Peter Mckinnon. If you want to become a better video editor, you can follow Peter Mckinnon. If you want to be a better filmmaker, aka YouTuber, you can follow Peter Mckinnon. See? He made it really simple for you to identify the fact that you're in his audience. And that's the thing a lot of you are not doing, is you're not simplifying the process of identifying who should be in your audience. Let us opt in and opt out. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop trying to go viral. Really get focused. If you focus your content on a specific type of person, you will be much more successful than if you just try to be generic YouTuber XYZ. Aquarian Co-op, how are you? $5 super chat. What software do you prefer for live streaming, and what is it that you are using today? That is a fantastic question. I prefer Wirecast Pro. I am a Wirecast Pro user. I bought and paid for my first Wirecast license, which was Wirecast Studio 7, and I'm on version 8 now, which they gifted to me after we did some things together. I did a webinar with them. It's fantastic. They're a partner of mine. I'm in the affiliate program. I need to link up the affiliate stuff for them. But I will tell you, Wirecast Pro is expensive, but I like it because of the fancy features it offers me. You could do a lot of the stuff in OBS, but I just prefer Wirecast because it's more stable. I think it's more flexible. I think it's better resource intensive in terms of utilizing my hardware better. And I just personally love the interface. I love how easy it lets me do everything I want to do. So that's why I like Wirecast. But you could use OBS, Open Broadcasting System, and that would accomplish most of the same things you want to do. I am going to be using Wirecast to do some even fancier things in the near future. For one thing, I'm going to try to have either an edited or animated intro for my YouTube live streams. So after the theme music cuts, I could go to that intro, and then when I'm editing in post, I could actually like cut where the live music is and start with the animated intro and then go into the stream. I'm also going to like do a 5-second or 10-second spot for my own products and incorporate those into the stream kind of as my own baked in ads, because I think it's a smart strategy, and I want to show you guys how to do much more tactical stuff with your live streams like that. And I'm also going to find some way to like potentially like do some other interesting live graphics in Wirecast, so that if I want to, like, I could just push a command button, usually like something on the number pad, and I can queue up something interesting or sound effects. So those are the kind of things that I like and why I like Wirecast. So fantastic question. 50-something original, $5 super chat. Thank you. I have a series that educates and shares my life as a kidney donor. A week ago, the National Kidney Foundation tweeted my playlist. Any ideas on how to capitalize? For one thing, obviously a lot of thank you tweets. I would probably like shoot them a video tweet thank you personally. I would also directly reach out to them and find out if there's anything that you could partner on with them. So get a contact over there, get an email, and try to work more closely with them. And then also work with other organizations. So that would be what I would say. Jimmy Changa, $2 super chat. Roberto, thank you for your YouTube starter kit. Love it. Thank you, Jimmy Changa. Appreciate you. So yeah. 30-day reviews. No money for Photoshop. Check out GIMP. You can check out GIMP, but also photop.com works in the browser. So it's a browser-based equivalent to Photoshop, and it's free. So I would check that out. Is it possible to upload too much? If you're uploading more than twice a day, it's probably too much. Watchtower says, Roberto, I have an Elgato Stream Deck I use for Twitch that does sound effects, etc. very well. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Ted Time says, I want to do music vlogs. Is that still too general, or should I go more niche? Ted, start a Musical.ly and figure out a strategy for Musical.ly. Also look at what's popular in Musical.ly. Reverse engineer the audience that's into that. It would be my best guess at that one from a strategic standpoint. Haunted Road Media says, are you always updating your starter kit, or is it a static package as is? It's one that I have the ability to update. I've updated it since I've made it. So I plan to update it more. Obviously, at some point, there's a cutoff for updating it and then moving on to building out another product until it becomes necessary to update it less. So I will be incrementally updating it through 2018 even more. But it's literally a $99 bundle that has over 100 Photoshop assets that all would be valued at a bare minimum at $5 a piece. So it's like a lot of value. It's literally probably thousands of dollars of value. It's conservatively over $1,000 in value, and I give it to you guys for 99 bucks. But if I had to put a number on it, the number that I'm putting on it is like about $1,500 in value. And that's because if you go to places like Envato and you look at like, Photoshop assets like this, they're not cheap. So I've done all the design work for you guys, and then you just have to put in your own photos. You can change out the colors. You also learn a lot about how to do your own graphics, because you'll see how someone who's experienced has laid out and stacked their layers, and you'll realize, oh wow, that thing that I think is 50 layers is actually 4 layers. Like, you'd be surprised, but it's very strategic, and it's also very easy to follow. So definitely check that out. Link is down in the description below, awesomecreatoracademy.com. Check out the YouTube Starter Kit. For live stream viewers, there's a little discount right now. Not our big one that we just finished, but, give you a little something off. And you guys could go ahead and pick that up, and I'm going to continue to update it. If you guys want more of a certain type of asset, I just need to know, and I can make more of that. But for thumbnails, which is where you guys really struggle, there's over 70 Photoshop thumbnail templates in the YouTube Starter Kit right now. So you're getting a tremendous value. And then there's other things like a list of free fonts, a list of hundreds upon hundreds of royalty-free and free music that you can download, plus 10 free songs that my buddy James Sewell hooked you guys up with. So there's a ton of value there. And I bring this up to point out the fact that by creating my own product, I took control of my own revenue. And I've always believed in taking control of your own revenue and not relying on the YouTube platform for anything. So I would always encourage you guys that if you can figure out how to make a digital product, and if you can't build your own website for this, then go to patreon.com and build and put out a digital product and then offer it to your Patreon supporters. And then instead of it just being about donations, they actually get something for giving you those donations that they can download, and then you have a better shot of getting more Patreon support. So I really just feel like that could really help you guys to start take control of some of your money and not rely on YouTube and AdSense and things of that nature. I think that and merchandise are a big deal, and like Spreadshirt does a good job. Like, that's where the Create Awesome Media shirts for my own company, like this, you guys can't buy, but you can buy my other merch. Like I'll show you like what they do. So they got the like, this is the Always Be Creating t-shirt, and they do a fantastic job. These always come out nice. And so I have those. I wear them at my speaking engagements. I obviously wear them on my videos. But they do a good job, and it's really affordable. And the best part is with Spreadshirt and Teespring, you don't have to pay money up front, but they just take some of the profits. And yeah, you get less money than if you like bought it yourself and then sold them online. But then you don't have to do the shipping. You don't have to process the payments. It just all is handled for you. It's easier. It's passive income. So I like that model. And even though I don't rep and plug my merch nearly as much, because I'd rather sell the higher ticket items, the merch sales actually are pretty decent considering how little I plug them. But I'm planning to actually like start doing some more with that. I'm also planning to start like doing giveaways on merch, and I'm also planning at my speaking engagements later in the year to actually bring some merch with me to give away to anybody who's in the audience, and to give that to people who like do Q&A during my my talks that like come out to conferences that I'm speaking at. So I just think that doing some of these more clever like things I think could help you guys a lot more. I would encourage you, if you have an Instagram, to not use it to just drive traffic to like your YouTube channel, which a lot of people are trying to do. I would use it to sell merch. I would like go to Instagram, and I would like, if I were you guys, if you don't have like an online platform like I do at awesomecreatoracademy.com, then I would set up like a Teespring or a Spreadshirt store or an Etsy store, and I would just sell stuff. Like, and I think that's real, just sell stuff. Spreadshirt. So for my Spreadshirt store, someone was asking, it's robertoblake.com/shirts, and you guys can get any of the merch there. But if you guys are looking for Spreadshirt to do your own thing, spreadshirt.com, teespring.com, those can help you out. Oh wait, it didn't give me the it didn't put the links in there because of my own filter. Whoops. Kelsey Lay says, "Hey Roberto, any advice on reaching out to a wider demographic? Would love to have more female viewership, but it's currently at 6%. Love your wisdom." Kelsey, I have the same problem. It's not that bad. Mine is I have a 19% female viewership. I'd like it to grow to over 30%. My answer to that has been engaging heavily with my audience overall. And my answer to that is I'm going to be interviewing more creators that have a large female audience on the channel and hope that some of them cross over. And so I would say collabing with people who have the female demographic would probably be the best answer for you. It's probably the most practical thing you could do because then you know that you have a female audience watching for the collabs, and if they like what they see, then maybe they stick around. So collabs are very practical to grow a demographic that you don't have. So that would be what I would suggest for you. That's why I would suggest to anybody, if there's a demographic you don't have that you're pursuing, collaborating with and working with people who have that demographic would be your answer. Phillips Fan Bam says, any advice on where to go to design a logo? I would say check out 99designs.com. I have a link for them. I have an affiliate link for them, robertoblick.com/99design. And I think that's the right link. Double check that. Yep, that's the right link. So, yep, you can go there and you can get packages on logo design there. You can get a lot of good stuff. They can do entire branding packages. They're relatively affordable. And so that's who I would recommend. I also like it because even though you also get a lot of different options because you get a bunch of different designers, and a lot of designers don't like me promoting 99 Designs, but here's the thing. A lot of new designers use it and they build their portfolio even if they don't win the contest and get paid. And a lot of people don't believe in that, and they don't believe in working for free when you're just getting started. But I believe in it because it's what I did, and it really helped me. And I know a lot of people criticize it. Hey, I used to be one of those people who criticize it. Oh, never do anything for free or blah, blah, blah. But it's really helped me, and it still helps me to this day to do some stuff for free. I work with a lot of smaller conferences sometimes to try to create value for audiences that may not be able to afford me in any other way. And then I do things from there. So that's what... I would say Bolt LG. Buddy, I can't do a €5 channel review. It's not fair to everybody else based on the rules that I set. So I can't do that. But if you want to make it full time, I've got a bunch of free content on the channel that can help you. Let's see. Any conferences or get-togethers in the Southeast? I will be at Podfest the 8th through the 10th. I'll be doing the Podcaster's Guide to YouTube as one of my sessions. I will be doing a session on YouTube monetization. I will be doing a session on YouTube growth overall. And I will also be doing the keynote for the YouTube workshops for Thursday. So this Thursday, I will be in Orlando, Florida at Podfest. And that's where I'm going to be doing one of my talks. At the end of the month, I will be at Social Media Marketing World doing a deep dive on YouTube analytics. Hopefully at the end of the month, I'll also be releasing the YouTube analytics crash course. So that's something that I would definitely say take a look at. And that's obviously going to be at awesomecreatoracademy.com. Jaden the Killer, do you have any free starter kits? Nope. The closest you get to that is if you are a paying member of TubeBuddy. They give you a sample pack of the YouTube starter kit where you get like 20 downloads. But that's probably about it. Sane Auto says, any advice for an automotive channel that uploads every day? Find the big topics and big videos in your niche and do your own spin on them. because your niche is very specific and there are very specific challenges to your niche. So you have to look at what those bigger channels are doing and then look at what they did to start and then see if there's anything that you can add your twist or value or an updated video on and just try and do that. Because automotive is a very specific niche and I am not necessarily a car guy, which means that my advice on that will be at the strategic level and not really at the niche level, which means that what I would look at is I would look at anything that's happening in the car or automotive enthusiast market in terms of I would be looking at the car magazines at Barnes and Noble because obviously they have their pulse on what is going on and they're doing publishing. So I would look at things like that and I would look at the bigger channels in your niche and then I would try to find something out of that you could do. Let's see. Got some more questions here. Civil Guy says, I think I might do an action cam giveaway once I hit 1K. So I am kind of saying that people shouldn't do generic product or high-end product giveaways until they're after 100,000 subs. I don't think people should do giveaways until they're at maybe 10,000 subs, to be honest. And I think the giveaways you start with, I think you start with giveaways that are something that only your existing audience would care about, like merch giveaways or book giveaways. I think that your core audience cares about those, and I would do low ticket item giveaways that are specific to your audience. So when you're just getting started, if you want to do giveaways because you feel like you want to give back or you feel like you want to charge up your audience and get them hyped up around something, I would say you could start with giveaways that cost you nothing. So I would say like you could do giveaways to your audience that result in people maybe having a private live stream. So I would do that. I would do things like your merch. I would do things like maybe if you are an artist, you give away some like hand-drawn or custom artwork or something. I would do things like that, and I would prefer that versus giving away something generic like a camera or an Xbox because I think that gets you people who are there for the wrong reasons. So I wouldn't do any major giveaways until after 100,000 subscribers. I avoid giveaways, but I'm doing one on Instagram around the Gary V's new book, Crushing It. But I also have some very specific criteria for that giveaway in Instagram. And I know that it's going to be mostly my existing audience that does those things. But my existing audience can activate me and amp me up in the algorithm and grow me. So that's why I am doing that strategically. And it's also predicated on engagement because I implemented something in Instagram I'm calling 60-Minute Club, kind of as a parody of Gary's 60-Second Club, because I'm like, my audience may not have as much disposable time as Gary's to just be on notifications for like in the first 60 seconds of a post, but in the 60 minutes, I'm giving a shot to people in my audience who might be 9-to-5ers or might have kids, and they might really, really need this book. So that's how I'm doing my Crushing It giveaway. And also, like, I'm asking them specific questions. I'm asking them, like, well, my homie Shonduras is in this book. Tell me, like, how Shonduras has inspired you to start crushing it in 2018. My friend Amy Schmittauer is in here. My friend Pat Flynn's in here. A lot of my friends are in this book. What's Inside is in this book. Met them at CES. CS. So, like, there's so many great stories in here, and so I'm getting specific. I'm getting granular with that. So, like, if I'm going to do a giveaway, for me, one, I'm doing that. I'm doing, like, 15-minute, like, private session giveaways for people who are outside of the U.S. or Canada. I'm doing, what else am I doing with that? The merch stuff, obviously. And I think something else was, like, a personalized like motivational message in Instagram, like, so I'm doing stuff for that. So like my new strategy in Instagram with giveaways is, again, things that only matter to my core community, and I think that's a much more practical way to approach giveaways. Oh yeah, Design by Humans does merch too, by the way, and I'm partnering with Design by Humans. and Ted Bettridge is going to start designing my new merch. He's a young man out of the UK who's like really talented. I was really impressed with him. He was actually in one of these YouTube live streams, and I saw his work, and I decided to work with him. Rel asks, how do you plan your day on paper? Any recommendations? I set myself 5 tasks, and only 5 tasks at a time, and then I don't give myself more tasks until I've completed all 5. Are you going to VidCon? Afro Triss says, yup, I'm going to VidCon. Why don't you think YouTube didn't grandfather in people who have been partnered for years? I just think it was impractical. I think that's why. I'm going to do a quick review for Bolt LG, and then we're going to go back into this letter from Susan, and then into a couple of your questions, and then I'm going to run, because we've been at this for over an hour. So let's see here. Hang on a second. Let me get this set up, and let me see what I've got going on. And like, I'll take like 3 more channel review requests, but you got to read the rules in my description. But I'm literally only taking the 3 biggest super chats out of that. That's how I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna finish up with this letter. Like, I'm gonna analyze this letter for you guys, because I read the letter to you guys, but I want to analyze it now. The letter from Susan Wojcicki. So I want to do that. Let's see here. So give me 1 second. All right, so Bolt LG, and I see that you're on Twitch as well. So I like your logo, but I don't like the lack of color. That immediately catches my attention. The gray doesn't do it for me. So you need something more colorful. Your thumbnails are colorful, but you're using a flat picture profile on your photo, and it's making you way too washed out. You need more contrast in there, because then it like doesn't look like, you know, a good photo. Even though the thumbnail is okay. You've got 11,000 plus subscribers, so you've done something right. Let's see like what you've been doing and how long you've been doing it. Obviously you're doing gaming stuff. Looks like a big focus for you is Battle Royale. Let's see how far back this goes. Probably a year, I guess. I'm going to guess and say it's probably a year. At least you're consistent. I will say you're consistent. That's probably how you grew your subs. You're not getting like the views, and again, I think everyone wants as many views as they can get, and that's, you know, whatever, but I think people dramatically underestimate the difficulty in getting views to be consistent. Your subscriber count does not necessarily dictate that you should have X amount of views. I want to disabuse all of you of that notion. Gary Vaynerchuk has 1 million plus subscribers and averages 30 to 50,000 views per video, and he's not just internet famous, he's actually famous. He's a 5-time best-selling author, a multi-millionaire investor, runs multiple companies and businesses as a serial entrepreneur, has been on like Fox and CNN and Conan and Ellen over the years, has over like a decade in the YouTube game, but a decade in media experience, 2 decades in business. The man's legit, but even with 1 million subscribers, he's averaging 30 to 50,000 views per video, which means he's activating 3 to 5% of his audience. So if Gary Vaynerchuk can only activate on average 3 to 5% of his audience, sometimes not even 10, then the rest of us should not be putting this tremendous pressure on ourselves to have the expectation that if we don't get the appropriate view to subscriber ratio, we must be doing something wrong or we suck. Because it's just not true. Because if Gary V can't punch through to 20 to 30% of his audience every day, then the rest of us, what are we supposed to like really think? So I think that, you know, it's just impractical to have that expectation, because I think the problem is too many of you watch Jake and Logan Paul and people of that nature get 50% of their audience to watch their stuff in like a week, and I think that sets you guys up to think that that should be what the normal is, and it's just not true. It's just not true. And then if you have a certain niche or genre of channel, it's even worse depending on what your niche or your genre of channel is, because if your audience isn't a bunch of young people like Jake and Logan, they don't have the disposable time. Jake and Logan's audience has from 3 in the afternoon when they get home off the bus and after they have their nap in their juice box until they go to bed at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So they've got a lot of disposable time. If your audience are jobbers, if they're 9 to 5ers, if they have a real job or a real responsibility and your audience only has so much disposable time in a day, then the odds are that they're not going to watch every single one of your videos. And that's just the truth. It's just real. So just give yourself a break. Take some pressure off, you know? Understand that it's okay if people don't watch every single video. I know you work hard on it and you would love it if they did, but you also have to respect their time. You have to respect that your audience just may not have the time to gorge themselves on content because they have other things going on in their life, you know? And that's just the reality. If you really want people to watch every single video you put out, you're going to have to target 10-year-olds. That's just the truth. You're going to have to target 10 to 18-year-olds if that's all you want is views, you know? All right, so I'm looking at your stuff here. Your thumbnails aren't bad, and, like, your genre is what it is. Some of them are too similar, but like that's fine, and sometimes that does help in a gaming niche. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it feels too repetitive. Your channel is a year and change old, so I think you're worrying about everything way too much because it's your first year and you've been massively consistent. So, you're doing at least that much right. Like the first 100 videos, PewDiePie only got 1,500 subscribers. The first 100 videos, Marquez Brownlee only got 74 subscribers. So, I feel like consistency is important. And I also feel like you shouldn't be worried as much about growth the first 2 years in. I got to, in my first 12 months, about, 10,000 subscribers. Within my first 2 years, 20,000, but then year 3, I went from 20,000 to 70,000 because I started putting out more content and I'd had momentum. So I think those things definitely help. And then after I hit that in December of 2015, I hit 70,000 in December of 2015 after, so then after that, I think that's where, is that when it happened? Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened, because then in 2016 is when I got my silver play button because I hit 100,000 by I want to say March or April or something like that. Yeah. And so then after that, I set up a system to exponentially grow by 10 to 12,000 more plus per month. And then that's how I got to 200,000, I think, or close by the end of that year, and started 2017 there, and so on and so forth, and grew it. And so that's where I'm at 290 now. But you have to think, the majority of that came after year 3. So after year 3, because it's almost been 5 years since July of 2013, we're almost 5 years. So most of that happened after year 3. And that's not abnormal because I think Boogie and Philip DeFranco said that stuff didn't take off for them until year 3 or 4. But even though they were getting views and subs, they weren't making money yet. Not enough money, not enough to live off of. Phil was still doing a waitering food service thing, being and that sucked. But anyway, I'm digressing. I'm making a point here that I think for how young your channel is, in the sense that it's only a year and change old and you're at 11,000 subscribers, I wouldn't worry about it too much. As far as your views, I mean, there's a lot of things you could probably do differently. You're focused on a specific game right now, Fortnite Battle Royale. I'm familiar with the game, but like I immediately see a couple of problems in terms of your best practices. Your tags and your descriptions, you have almost no description, so that's hurting you. And then, because I mean, was it Morning Fame? Morning Fame, research topic. Because I'm going to show you the problem with not doing. I'm going to show you the problem with not doing a description. Like, so if I went how to grow a YouTube channel 2018, right? That's the topic I have in mind. Choose a target keyword. I'm going to choose a single specific main target keyword here. This is the key. So I have a topic. Now I need to pick a main keyword. A main keyword that is going to be the focal point of what drives traffic here. So I'm going to pick, this search term. How to grow your YouTube channel 2018, right? So then step 3. So step 3, out of everybody for this keyword, I have a good shot at ranking because out of everyone who wants to try for this keyword, I have a good subscriber count by comparison. Views, think traffic volume opportunity. It doesn't have a specific rank that anticipates for me, but it does suggest that on average, this could do very well for my channel. So it's saying that that's good. In terms of engagement, I do very high on engagement compared to other people who try this topic. And then in terms of relevancy opportunity, for whatever reason, it's saying it's giving me a D, but I can increase that. So let's move on to step 4 with optimization, because I can change that relevancy ranking from a D or an F immediately. Watch this. So if this is my title, watch what adding this description does. Right now, this is how your video is. No description. Because you just have like a link to the thing, right? And like one sentence. So watch this. When I type in a YouTube channel 2018, if you want to grow your YouTube, whoops, growing a YouTube channel requires a Now watch this. I'm going to just change the word a to your, and then all of a sudden this is going up considerably. Okay? So just these 3 lines, I've kind of maxed out some of things immediately and moved up from having an F to a D. Watch this. If I literally take the title of my video and add that as a tag, that definitely is going to help. I can eliminate some of these generic tags. It's saying that I could rank for some of these, but I'm going to eliminate some generic tags. And I can actually tell it, keep this and remove all other. Yep. And that's going to tighten things up a little bit because it's saying, yep, I should and could rank for these. To grow your YouTube channel. So again, this is how the description would appear to the YouTube search engine, and you can see how that makes sense. And I still have 80 characters that I could use, and notice that I'm using no one word tags. Yep. So all of those things would optimize my video. It's still giving me this relatively relevancy rank of a D, but it's literally saying that like there's 100% chance of me being relevant, that like I'm doing really well, but it's giving me a D there. But in real life, it would actually perform obviously really well for me because look at yes, it's a common like search term, but this is actually doing pretty strong for me. Now, in terms of relevancy, it's saying like some of those percentage points are smaller, but a lot of these also have specific like high growth traffic attached to them. So I would eliminate some of the 1% things in terms of relevancy. Um, so I would like weed out some of those, and then that frees up more characters, and I would do that. Now let's go back to your video and let's think about then the context of your video. Look at all these generic one-word things that really don't make sense or have any context, and then they don't tie to this title, and then you have no description to help them, right? So if you went and you used morning fame the way I did, you would have a better shot at increasing the relevancy of your video. And relevancy doesn't just help with search, and because like what if people aren't searching, or it's the type of thing that gets searched. The thing is that the relevancy part of this helps with the related videos in the algorithm. And again, look at your SEO score in vidIQ here. This is why I use TubeBuddy, Morning Fame, and vidIQ. Like if I look at the search volume for Fortnite gameplay, I can see some interesting things, which you're not even, I don't think you're ranking for this. We'll find out. But look at high search volume, high competition. That's what TubeBuddy tells me. And I also see that like for the tags you picked, a lot of them probably aren't going to be ranked. None of them are ranked. You have no end screens in terms of best practices, no captions, you haven't shared it in Facebook, you haven't pinned a comment, you haven't hearted a comment. So if you're wondering like why your video isn't getting views, would doing these things guarantee your videos views? Well, no, but it can't hurt. And so none of the related videos, this is just going off of all of my preferences. It's almost none of this stuff ends up being Fortnite because you don't have any of the things that could recommend those videos, and I doubt that any videos are recommending you. So you don't have any outside videos probably recommending traffic to you. That hurts you. The general algorithm hurts you. Like, you're not doing all the things you could do to make the video successful. I mean, you have a good thumbnail, you have an audience, but it basically feels like to me that you're relying on YouTube to push your content instead of doing every single thing you can. And clearly there's more work that can be done here. And that's, in general, that's my message to the far majority of you, is that it seems to me that there's always more work to be done. There's always things that you can do. So let me move over here for a quick minute. Let me look at the super chats. Let's see who's in the running and who needs a channel review. Clover Tack, can I pay to not get a channel review? Will that work? Just a little more coin for you? Thank you, Clover. I super appreciate you. And guys, wherever you can, if there are content creators, especially content creators that are doing they're doing content that is likely to be demonetized, whether they're doing news, whether they're gun safety channels or gun enthusiasts, and they're doing things responsibly, some of the comedy channels, maybe some of the darker humor things, like support people with super chat, support people with Patreon if you can. If you can help out those channels that might not be able to get ad revenue, it keeps YouTube independent, it keeps YouTube diverse, and so that's just something that I think is the right thing to do if you can. And it doesn't have to be a lot. If you can help channels out with $2 or $5, if you get any value from them, whether that's in Patreon or Super Chat, it goes a long way because these creators, a lot of them have like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 subscribers, and even if just a couple hundred of them would kind of put their money where their mouth is and support them, then they could keep doing the content, do more content, make a living at it, and it would help them. So I just, that's how I kind of feel about it. I mean, we have a few hundred of you watching live right now. A primary example is if you've ever gotten any value from this channel, and just to say thank you, you want to donate $2 or $5, like whether you have a question for the super chat or whether you just want to say thank you, $2 to $5, it may not seem like a lot to you guys, but every single little bit helps like a YouTube creator. It could be a new piece of gear, it could be a microphone, it could be just something that like takes the edge off, it could be something that helps them pay their taxes, it could be anything, like, and you just don't know, right? You know, and some creators are doing okay. I'm doing okay, but every little bit helps. And again, I just want to set the example that it's okay for creators to ask for things. If you're a creator and you need to ask for support for your audience, make sure you're giving them value that gives you the permission to ask and not feel guilty about it. You know, so just create things that create value, whether that's your content, whether that's products and services, or whether you just want to ask them to support you so you can keep trying to do better. There are people who are happy to do that. I actually use a lot of the money I even get from patron supporters for my podcast, and I actually am giving a lot of that back out to creators that they're hurting in terms of monetization. So, you know, that's what I usually do. So I saw some super chats came in. So these are the three. So we're closing that for the reviews. So we've got our 3 reviews. Thank you guys for that. But anyone else who just wants to do super chat for questions that they want answered, I'm definitely taking that, and just any support that anyone wants to give. But let's look at Philip's Fambam's channel. And let's mute. I have to mute all of the auto plays for anything that has a that has a trailer. DIY Solar Win, thank you so much. All right, so the channel artwork is fine for what it is, that shows a family, but your shoulder's cut off there. I don't like that, so maybe another photo, because I don't like when shoulders are cut off in photos. The choose your day thing bleeds over. I would kind of like almost even rather that be like something that tells people to subscribe or something of that nature. Are you trying to grow the Instagram specifically? Because otherwise, if you have other things where people could support you, I would say put that in those links over in the top there. Maybe something over here that told us the upload schedule. So there's that. 47,000 subscribers. Okay. 47,000 subscribers. The cleaning videos are doing really good. Cleaning videos tend to do very well. That's interesting, and it's something that maybe more family vloggers should look at. Haul videos tend to do good. You're getting a decent amount of views per video, it looks like. Let's take a look at the overall, what's going on there. Some of these thumbnails could be a little bit better because some of them are cluttered as far as the text. Some of those are cluttered as far as the text, and some of them could be just a little bit better if they got a little bit of Photoshop love. Like, when I look at that, there are some things like from the YouTube starter kit that I definitely think would help, because then you could just do a photo and then some really good text. Because if you look at like what I just showed you in terms of thumbnails, and then you look at these thumbnails, they're not bad. They're not the worst, and you're getting views. But and it looks like you're doing strategic photos for the thumbnails, which I applaud, and I love strategic thumbnails, where you take an actual photo for the thumbnails. But some of the text is hard to read without my glasses, and that's bothering me a little bit. And I think that some of this like could do better based on thumbnails, because thumbnails get clicked. But because you have an audience that's built around your family, you're able to get views pretty much regardless. But some of your videos could perform better if they just had better thumbnails. But it also looks like specific videos perform better than others. And so I would encourage you to do more of those and fit those into more of a regular type of content than you do. Let's sort by most popular, and let's see what your most popular videos actually are. Because I had my suspicions, and they're just confirmed. They're just confirmed. The bedroom makeovers and the cleaning videos and any of the grocery haul videos and food videos do really well. The Costco videos do really well for you guys. The Buffalo Wild Wings video, like, that doesn't surprise me that did well. Um, that's a smart thumbnail for that. Smart. For when you guys do Buffalo Wild Wings videos, borrow inspiration from First We Feast with Sean from Hot Ones. Borrow inspiration for how they do their thumbnails. That could probably help. The grocery haul videos do really well for you guys. So I think you guys should do a grocery haul video every month if you're not already. And if it can be a brand one like Costco, Sam's, or Publix, that probably helps you. Trader Joe's. Those definitely work well for you guys, and doing really smart thumbnails that show off everything. The taste test videos do really well for you guys. I would go back, look at your analytics. You're going to find that there are very specific videos that absolutely crush it for you guys. And I would focus more on the videos that are working. Still make fun videos and videos that you want to experiment with, but focus your core content of doing as many videos a month of the stuff that's absolutely crushing it. So that's something that you really want to look at. Oh, that was a really good thumbnail for the Trader Joe's video. And also, let's look at your playlist, because series playlist really can help. Okay, family vlogs, room makeovers, good. Is there a Costco's playlist? All right, Trader Joe's, Sam's, Yep, grocery haul, Costco. Okay. Yep. All right, strong thumbnails. Strong playlist strategy. Yeah. So I think that if you guys do the things that I just mentioned, that this channel will perform even better. Also, like, you guys, you could consider, if you want something more in depth or you want me to go over the analytics with you, over at awesomecreatoracademy.com, I do have either private coaching that could be more in depth for a 90-minute call around the business of what you're doing if you're trying to monetize more, or if you just want a 90-minute session. But if you want an in-depth 30-minute channel review and you want to show me some of your analytics, I have that service as well. Or we could talk about your social media. So that's just something to think about, because you guys have a smart channel. You're doing a lot of things well. I think that content strategy and visual branding are where you need the most help, because you do good videos, you get the views, and your tactics are working, but they could be refined. They could work better, and if they did, you could definitely grow. And I'm wondering about beyond AdSense, how you guys are monetizing, because I think there are other monetization opportunities you may be ignoring besides brand deals, which I haven't seen it to see if you can get those. I'm going to take a quick peek at your videos just to see what the production values look like, just to make sure there's no advice I can offer there. Loading, loading, loading. This is the other thing with live streaming and doing so much at once. So I know this is going to be vlog style. So again, like, some things production-wise obviously can be forgiven if it's vlog style. Alright, I can already tell that the production values are going to be pretty good. Yep, production values and editing are fine for you guys. Even with this buffering and loading, because I'm doing the live stream, I'm doing too many things at once on this machine. And I'm recording the live stream to the machine in real time too. Like, I can tell your production values are good, so I'm not worried about that. So overall, Phillips Fan Bam, I think that you guys have a strong channel. I think you're doing a lot of stuff right. I think that those are some of the tweaks. You're obviously doing some SEO stuff right. Like, because let's look at, like, if you get, You did almost everything except for info cards on the best practices checklist. You should eliminate one-word tags like food because you're not ranking for them. But look at this. You guys are crushing it because you uploaded a video yesterday. It's got 8,000 views and it's going to keep climbing. And you know what part of it is, guys? Part of it is the fact that you were able to rank for over 10 tags as number 1 or number 2. And I think everyone underestimates that. Whenever I look at my best performing videos, it always is that it does this very well. So I think that's another thing that people are overlooking. I like doing some of these channel reviews because it's a learning exercise for the rest of people as to what they could do well or what they might need to do much better. But look at how many of these videos are ranking. And then I guarantee you the suggested videos, a bunch of them are going to be from the channel. Watch, look at this. They're the suggested videos for their own channel. Look at that. And it's not an accident. They're doing really good with playlist. They put all their videos in playlist and then look at their tags and look at what they're doing. And look at the fact that they put the name of the channel and Phillips Fam Bam and Phillips Family and all these things that are also part of their channel keywords in the tags, and a lot of you are ignoring tags. Look at this great SEO score that they're getting. It's not an accident that their videos perform well, and it's not an accident that their videos refer more videos from them, which people will watch and create loops and sessions and more watch time, and it's not an accident that these channels do well. For those of you who are trying to grow, for those of you under 10K, this matters. And you got to do everything, and you got to stop looking at what the big YouTubers are doing because that's not going to help you. What growing YouTubers are doing is going that are at a closer level to you is what's going to help you. The Phillips family did 3,000 new subscribers in the last 30 days. They're doing over 100 subs on average every day. They did 82 subs today. They did 25,000 views today, which is probably about roughly the amount of views I did today. So guess what? They did almost 1 million views in the last 30 days. They did more views in the last 30 days than I did by about 100,000. And even though they're a channel that's much smaller than mine, they're doing the right things, guys. And you'd be better off analyzing channels that are 100K or lower that are growing and getting those kind of results than bigger channels because it matters. And it's better to watch someone that is growing than someone that has already made it because that means that it's what's working in real time. So that's why, and again, I spent a little bit more time on that one because I wanted to teach the lesson. So, thanks for the super chat. Thank you for the channel review. Let's move on to Cetria's art channel, Art and Comics. So I dig art channels. I'm an artist. Growing up, I always was drawing. I used to try to get out of schoolwork to draw. So your thumbnails look good most of the time and they're cool, but some of them are too repetitive. The art chat thumbnails sometimes look too similar, and I think maybe the lack of color could be hurting you, but it's not hurting you that bad because, again, you have 411 subscribers. You're getting decent views for that level. How long have you been at this? Been at this at least 100 days because you're doing a day challenge. You're doing a lot of content. I almost guarantee it's gonna be, but see, some of these thumbnails back to back are too repetitive. I would have changed up the colors every now and again behind this because it's too easy at a glance because people are lazy to confuse it for being the same video again. So for the 100 days of drawing, I would have made a different color for this every single day to differentiate it, not just put a different art piece behind it. I would have differentiated it more because, again, human beings are lazy. You have to do things like that. It's why I took advantage of color blocking in my channel strategy as well. I make a good use of color and I use it strategically. A lot of you guys, I've conditioned you to where if you see red and you see my face or you see Mini Roberto, that you go to that because it's a YouTube related video. I've conditioned you for that. And if you don't see that, you get confused unless you see the patterns for when I do a tech video or when I'm doing a creative based video or when I'm doing a money making video. I've conditioned you with certain signals to recognize that too. It's not an accident. So you're an artist and you're good, but you're not taking advantage of design and color theory to the degree that you could. And I think that taking advantage of design and color theory would help your channel considerably. I also think that you do great artwork. Like, that's amazing. I hope you're not trying to make YouTube ad revenue full time. I hope that you're capitalizing on your skills as an artist full time, because you should be making more money if you do that. Because I'll tell you, I'm looking at your stuff. I haven't even clicked into a video, but I can tell that you have the ability to make $60,000 to $100,000 a year as an artist if you just did it the right way. From a business standpoint, you stand to make more money as an artist than as a YouTuber because you have the talent available to do that if you're strategic. So, like, I'd almost rather you ask me business advice as an artist than ask me how to grow this YouTube channel, to be very real with you. I mean, I'll give you some advice, but I'm just being very real with you. You have a much better chance of making six figures as an artist than as a YouTuber. And you could use YouTube to help grow awareness around everything you're doing art-wise. And it's not impossible to make it on YouTube as an artist. My friend Josiah Brooks, you probably guys know him as Draw with Jazza. He's welcome back. One of the most talented. He's probably one of the people who's proven that artists can make it on YouTube. Illustrators and animators can make it on YouTube. And but look, like, here we go. One word tags and stuff that may not rank.
Today is day 78
right
to 82 of 100 days of making comics. And yes, to be honest, I really did work at least 4 days of the week, if not more. What has happened is, and you'll see right
the first three lines here, of this do not relate to this title, so that definitely hurts you for relevancy and search and discovery and promotion in YouTube.
Powerful enough for me to both
you
draw
also probably
and
content
record.
strategy-wise need a lot of how to draw content to help grow this channel initially.
And of course toning and lettering
for a channel like yours,
because I use Photoshop for that,
do without
and
50 to 100
I don't really need this
videos.
tablet to do so.
Like, that's serious.
I can still draw on my regular computer. It's just sometimes I feel like lounging around on the couch, or maybe actually be portable with it. Hence why I purchased this computer. However, instead of motion computer versus Surface Pro, I will have more of a video about that later on. But the quick session is, I purchased a motion computer prior to this one before. I love the pressure sensitivity for it because it's supposed to be using Wacom technology. I would have purchased
and
a
you can
Surface
also
Studio.
take more advantages in terms of a content strategy. If you're an art channel, I always tell art channels and people who are drawing to take advantage of pop culture and themes and things that are trending right now. Like, unfortunately, one of our heroes, Stan Lee, was recently in the hospital. He's 95 years old. I would, this week, if I were a drawing channel, like, I would have yesterday or today, I would have done fan art of Stan Lee, and I also would have encouraged my audience to do fan art of Stan Lee and tag me on Instagram, and I would have been growing YouTube and Instagram that way. And it's not about trying to profit off of the issue of his health. It's about being a real fan, about what Stan Lee means to you. And I would have done just like Marvel month in February, to be honest. I would have done like Marvel month in February and focused on Marvel and Stan Lee and what he meant to me and his characters. Also, you've got Black Panther coming out. I would have done stuff around that. The Infinity War. Like, so art channels have to be very strategic in their content strategy. You can't afford to not have how-to content. You can't afford to not optimize for SEO. And but again, your content is good. Your talent is prolific. But my advice to you would be to get very clever about content strategy. I think it makes more of a difference than people realize to get insanely strategic about your content strategy. Hiring someone to do thumbnails. I think there is a place that like does thumbnails for like $15 to $25 a piece if you don't want to do them yourself or use the YouTube starter kit. Like, I think there's a place that does that. top-down videos are like really good. Your production values aren't bad, especially for what a drawing channel is. So I wouldn't worry about that right now. But again, my answer to you is to really focus on content strategy because the quality of your content is good. Justin Brown from Primal Video, how are you? Thanks for dropping in, man. And we just got another Super Chat Canadian. I'll address that in a second. But yeah, so for those of you struggling with thumbnails, remember, there is the YouTube Starter Kit. And I do have, for people that are in the live stream, I have a discount code for you. My discount codes are usually temporary, so take advantage of it while it lasts. But you get a little something off. And the YouTube Starter Kit could help a lot of you with your thumbnails. And again, if you don't have Photoshop, you can always use photop.com. Photop.com is a free alternative to Photoshop, and it's browser-based. You don't even have to download anything, and it's free with ads. And they're not sponsoring. They should. I'm giving them a lot of love. I'm promoting them a lot for free. They should be a sponsor. But photop.com will let you open Photoshop files, SVG files if you do vector graphics, and so on and so forth. So you can use this, and you can open up Photoshop files, you know. So if you were to buy the YouTube Starter Kit because you want to make better thumbnails, and you can just open up those thumbnail packs that I created, and you could go to town on them in Photop. And so I put over 100 templates for channel artwork, thumbnails, other graphical elements, lower thirds that you can animate, and then you could edit them in Photop, all at one price, unlimited access to all new updates. So you can get that at awesomecreatoracademy.com. Link is in the description down below, you guys. But let's move on to another channel review real quick. And this is, I think, the last one. So this is Kendra Dantes. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Dantes, right? Kind of like Edmond Dantes, right? From Count of Monte Cristo. So let's see here. Hang on one second. Kendra, you didn't miss out on getting a channel review. Citra's art, if you're not into American pop culture, you can always do anime or whatever else. You know, that definitely helps. To rehash for the art channel, content strategy is a big deal. Because, and let me just like pull it up again because I think people said they couldn't hear me because of the volume on the channel itself. So I'll just do a quick version of this again because I want people to get the value. So again, sometimes the thumbnails are too similar, so you really need to change that up. People are a little on the lazy side. You said you're not into pop culture, but I do see that you are into anime. You could take advantage of that. Anime has a big community. You could take advantage of what's trending there. And there are like things in comic culture that looks like you're into, so you could do things with that. So again, taking advantage of trends can definitely help, even if you're not into an American comics. And like I said, you have talent, so use it and get very strategic. Look at what Draw with Jazza did. Reverse engineer some of that. And, you know, he's proven that people in the art niche in YouTube can definitely win. And again, one of the other things I would tell you is that in your daily drawing challenge video, the thumbnails are a little bit too similar. Also, maybe fill out the YouTube channel with more of the featured playlist because you're only using 3. Maybe fill it out with 5 or 6 playlists because, again, the 100 days of making comics and inking, like I said, the colors, too similar on these and people are lazy. Change up the colors every single day. Go back and update those thumbnails because that will make a difference and people will be able to recognize them. So, Kendra Dantes, we didn't skip you. You didn't miss out. We're doing it. Let's see. All right, so 2,000 subscribers. Not bad channel art overall because the photography is decent. The problem is I cannot tell from the channel artwork what the channel is about. There's nothing that tells me exactly what the channel is about. I can guess that you're a singer and that you do other things. So that's cool, but it doesn't tell me flat out what to expect or how often you post, and so that hurts a little bit in terms of the guessing game. If I end up going to the channel, if you end up promoting your channel, or if someone shouted out your channel, I get here and then I don't know what's the channel about right away. Now, in your features, I see covers, tutorials, and then I see that you've created some other playlist. And I see you have vlogs. All right, and it looks like you're young. So, first advice, don't take YouTube seriously. Anyone under 18, do not take YouTube seriously. Do not pursue being YouTube famous. Don't do it. Do not make being a full-time YouTuber your dream. Do not do it. That is probably the legit best advice I think I might have ever given anyone, is do not, under any circumstances, let the words "YouTube is my dream" come out of your mouth. I'm like, and I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at the tutorial right now. I'm looking at her channel right now. No one ever again, please, and I'll explain. But do not make YouTube your dream, and don't say YouTube is your dream job. YouTube is a platform that's rules are constantly changing and evolving. YouTube could benefit your genre for 3 years and then snatch it all away. Do not make an emotional commitment 110% to the idea of YouTube because you just don't know what'll happen. Do not tie your identity to that. I would tell you, if you work a 9-to-5 job, don't tie your identity to that, because you can be fired. And then your sense of identity and self has just been ripped away from you brutally. You know, so I don't want you to tie your identity to this. It's fine to call yourself a YouTuber. I'm fine with that. But I've come a long way in accepting that like that, because you're saying I belong to this community. It's like me saying I'm an artist, or that I'm a born New Yorker, or whatever. And so I just get very uncomfortable when someone says YouTube is my dream, and I look up to all these big YouTubers, because it's like I get it, and it's okay, but it's taken too far, because if it becomes your identity and something happens, it's hard not to take it personally and dwell on that versus doing what you got to do to make it, you know? So I just want to always put that into context for people. Now, what I'm digging about your channel here is, like, for one thing, you're still crushing it on views. You have 2,000 subscribers and you're crushing it on views. You're activating more than 10% of your audience on a regular basis. So that's awesome. The one thing I'll say, thumbnails are a little busy. Maybe focus on photography for your thumbnails and very little text, because it gets a little busy, and like I don't have my glasses on and it's immediately hard to read and it gets overwhelming. So, you know, your thumbnails aren't bad in some cases, but some of them are, and some of them are just overwhelming from a visual standpoint, because the clutter is hard, makes it hard for me to read without my glasses, and then I don't know what to pay attention to, so that ends up being hard on me. I see that you're probably using something like Canva, maybe. I like the cleaner style of thumbnails you do, where you do stuff like this, but I would just get less text and make the text bigger and get it away from the bottom, because when you put stuff with text on the bottom, it always runs into that YouTube timestamp, and in the mobile app, that takes up more space even, so that becomes a problem. So that always bothers me. So in your case, I prefer thumbnails that are photos that tell a story. So I prefer photos that tell a story for you. So I think that would do really well. Let's see what's your best performing content. It looks like a lot of your covers and your piano stuff is your best performing covers. I like this Moonlight one. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I like this. I like that you have the everything for the sheet music, like, and you have the. This is good. Visually, I might edit this differently. I mean, you guys see how I set up this interface? In editing, might try to set up an interface where, and I get that you're trying to show people the sheet music, but you might want to get that a little bit smaller so that it's not taking up nearly as much of the space or something. Or what you might want to consider doing is the camera with you while you're playing. Get that to a small face cam block like what I currently have, and minimize and shrink up the keyboard playing and the notes kind of into something that lines up evenly together, even if you have to shrink it down a little bit, kind of like what I have with my interface here. And then put a face cam of you in the corner, and I would try and go that route, because this is smart for what you're doing from a tutorial standpoint. It's just that the presentation of it could be slightly better. So there's that. So I don't have a problem with your production values. I think that the way that your tutorials for doing piano tutorials and covers is clever, and it's probably the most effective practical thing if someone's trying to learn that I think I might have ever seen. And that's a really advanced setup. So props to you and your family on that. Like, that's hardcore. I just feel like there might be a better way to do it from a presentation standpoint, in terms of layout. But it's not surprising that this is one of your more popular videos. I think that thumbnails would go a long way with you, but I also think the strategy you're using is smart. I think a little bit of what I showed with like doing SEO with like research with Morning Fame and then executing on that with TubeBuddy, I think could definitely help. You may or may not be in a position to do that. Morning Fame's like $5, I think, a month. TubeBuddy's more, but I think they have a discount for really small YouTubers, anyone under 5,000 or something. And I have a 20% off discount code in the description, so there's that. What else we got going? And this one is just a cover. Okay, so this is fine. Production-wise, like, let's see what because I know that this is probably throttling down on quality for my thing. All right, try and shoot these in 1080 HD whenever you can. But better descriptions. Descriptions matter. Like, fill out the 3 lines of the descriptions in a way that would make sense if, like, this was describing something on the back of a movie or an album cover, because that makes sense to do. But, yeah, like, I think that your channel is smart. I think that thumbnails, again, can help this channel if they're less cluttered and the text isn't running together. I think channel artwork can put it into context. So I think that's important to do. What else can I tell you? I think your content strategy is fine. I think take advantage of new movies soundtracks that come out, because that has attention around it. So I think those are things you could definitely do. So let me check back in here on the chat, see what's going on. Also, I think I got some super chats while I was away. Johnny Cell Productions. Johnny's actually a member in Awesome Creator Academy. Thanks to learning lots from you, Roberto, and others, I prepared myself to not be worried about YouTube's new policies and just work harder and smarter with creating awesome content. Mostly for my music channel, though. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you, man. Much love to Canada. Thank you for the $20 Canadian. Appreciate you. let's see. I'm just going through some of you guys' questions here and some of the commentary. I appreciate the support, guys. Means a lot. Justin Brown, Primal Video, the YouTube Starter Kit is a must-have. It really is. I appreciate that, Justin. AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. Grab the YouTube Starter Kit. The DBZ Collector. You can go back and watch the. Wow, I've been on for 2 hours. I need to go do the replay will be available. Karma Cast says, what's it like for 360 VR content on YouTube, specifically animated VR content, if there is any? Not 100% sure, buddy. Like 360 VR and augmented reality is getting really new. It's like it's a whole new ball game, dude. Like, so we'll have to see where it goes, but YouTube's super interested in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they bump it more in the algorithm. I think they'll bump it more in the algorithm. Is web design dying? No, web design's not dying. Like that question, like Weebly and Squarespace. Look, they're the money has always been in corporate America. Corporate America is going to always hire web designers. Next question. Let's see. I'm reading through some of your questions, guys, and I'm also trying to avoid repetitive questions. Here be Bar, best advice for travel vloggers: a content strategy that's not all hero content of super highly polished edited travel blogs. Do very practical how-to content as well. Answer like in my mind, a good travel vlogger's channel will have 50 to 100 videos that specifically answer questions about travel. And when you do a travel video on location, even after the fact, I would go back and do a video that incorporates B-roll from your trip and some nice edits into answering questions about that location for other travelers. To me, a good travel vlogger would reverse engineer strategies of travel guides and books in video content to be a practical resource, in addition to highly polished, nice travel vlog experience. Oh, this is what I experienced videos versus just the travel vlogs themselves. I think a lot of practical how-to content will get you discovered. Watchtower X Roberto, what's a solid retention rate, would you say? It's different for different channels and genres. You want to shoot as close to 50% as you possibly can. Tandem Adventures asks, will this live stream be archived for later on-demand viewing? Yep, they always are. They always are. Motivation Tube. Hi, Roberto. I want to learn video editing software. Can you please suggest to me a video editing software? Adobe Premiere Pro. That's what I use. William Corley says, how can you follow trending topics when when you make comedy skits? Like, it's hard because challenges and stuff will gain subscribers that don't like my normal content. William Corley, you could literally, for comedy skits, just read it, whatever's trending on Twitter, and make jokes about it. Like, literally, you could just do that. Literally, you could just wait for Donald Trump to tweet something and then make a lot of jokes about it. Like, I mean, and that sounds like low-hanging fruit, and it probably is, and it'll probably attract a lot of toxic people to your stuff. But if it's a neutral joke that's just around absurdity and you do a funny voice, maybe it doesn't matter, and then maybe trolls don't hit you too hard on that. But I guarantee you'd get views. So it just depends on like whether you can take the punch or not. Like, but I mean, that's like if you're gonna go comedy, comedians have to be comedians are gonna get hated on no matter what if they're doing their job right. Like, if you're a comedian and you don't have haters, you're probably not doing your job right. Like, he's a rookie comedian. PewDiePie takes a lot of heat for what he tries to do comedically because it's hit or miss, you know. I respect his hustle. I respect what he's done and what he's built. And he's actually... I thought I was going to sneeze. Like, that was going to be a big one, too. He's actually smarter than a lot of people give him credit for. I would challenge some things about where he does things that strategically I don't think are smart sometimes. And he admits and he owns that. And that's fine. Like, you know, own your mistakes and whatever. I think he's better at owning his mistakes than most people. The Paul brothers. So, like, my point with bringing up comedy skits is I don't think finding material and making, like, a thesis for a content strategy around comedy itself is difficult. I think doing comedy is hard. I don't think coming up with ideas for comedy or doing things or knowing what would get attention if you're a comedian, I don't think that's hard. I think formatting comedy content is hard, and I think delivering good on content that is based in comedy, I think delivering your lines is hard. I don't think the actual, what do I make? I don't think that's hard. Do you still freelance graphic designs? No. Hell no. One, there's still money in freelance graphic design. I just make infinitely more money on passive income to be bothered. And then in terms of active income, I do 90-minute calls for coaching at $5.97. There's no way that as a graphic designer, you're going to do that level of hundreds of dollars an hour unless you have very high corporate clients, in which case you wouldn't be billing an hourly rate anymore. You'd go the agency model and you'd be billing thousands of dollars for services based on deliverables instead of hourly. So no, I don't do freelance graphic design anymore. Nope, not interested. If I want to do graphic design, I do it in-house for my own products and services, then sell products based on passive income to make money. Primary example, the YouTube Starter Kit. I leveraged my skills as a graphic designer and built a lot of templates, and in the first 60 days of this product being on sale, even with a 50% off sale, I did $10,000 on doing graphic design work up front. Most graphic designers would never give away 100 templates, 100 Photoshop templates that are detailed for $100. I even put it on sale for $50, and the first 60 days of my product being out, I did over 10 grand. Like, most graphic designers are not going to make 10 grand in 60 days, no matter how well they're paid at anything. Most graphic designers can't do that. I managed to do that by going to the product model. I would never freelance in my situation when I can just use my skills to develop a product model or to develop a higher level service model around consulting and then do referral business to other designers and then take a referral fee. I would never freelance when I can do that. Now, I recommend freelancing in graphic design to other people if they're just getting started and if they're making at their regular day job right now less than $30,000, $40,000 a year. I think that freelancing could change their life, and I would tell them to do that. There's no way that for the last couple of years I would keep doing design work because there's just much more lucrative business models that I graduated to over time. But starting out, sure. But like, people razz me in the graphic design community for it today, but I told them that, like, it's practicality. I hire graphic designers now. I pay digital artists now. I only do stuff where I want absolute creative control in my own brand, but it's much more practical for me to hire other people. And so when I teach graphic design topics, I'm doing it as an employer at this point. I'm doing it as an art director at this point. I don't need to be the bottom level of practitioner to talk on a topic anymore if I've graduated to paying people a paycheck to do that work. Then now I have an added perspective of the dimension of, well, what would make me hire that person? And so I come from that perspective, not the other way around. And that's just where I'm at now. But even for a freelancer, I'm encouraging freelancers to move partly to diversifying a product and service model, because even if you look at Awesome Creator Academy, there's a subscription model that is a membership group, and they're playing the members actually in the live stream right now. But I also offer the coaching side, and then I have the digital products in terms of a digital download product, and now I have a new course that I'm launching that's up now for pre-order, and then I have other services, right? Delivering ancillary services with also a product model. I'm going to also be releasing like 3 more products in the first 2 quarters of this year specifically, and I have like 3 micro products that I'm going to release in terms of small mini courses that I think could help people as well. And those will be like some of those will be like $20 courses, right? But it's a smarter model than just offering a service, because there are a lot of people that are working for $20 an hour, and that's a good salary for them for where they're at. But think about it. Working for $20 an hour versus building a product that takes you 10 hours, 20 hours to build, but you can sell that $20 product for the rest of your life, every hour of the day, every single day via the internet. It's much more practical than working $20 an hour. It's much more practical than working $100 an hour. So I tell freelancers that they need to stop just doing a feast or famine client-based model, client services model, and also build out an ancillary model of passive income around products, but also they should be making content and monetizing that through other passive revenue streams. So again, am I still a freelance graphic designer? Hell no. Living the Keys life. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I absolutely appreciate that. Tandem Adventures. I think plenty of people could generate that kind of revenue in that period of time. I'm trying to teach people exactly how to do that. I think that, because here's the thing, I didn't market it to most of you guys in YouTube, if you remember. I only plugged the YouTube Star Kit in a couple of live streams. I did a very minimal ad spend. I think I did like a $100 or $200 ad spend, mostly in remarketing campaigns, believe it or not. And I also, what else did I do? I only really promoted the YouTube Star Kit mostly in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I ran a few Instagram ads, but not to promote the YouTube Starter Kit itself, but to promote AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com as a website, mostly then trigger traffic for remarketing campaigns. So I went that route because I felt that that was the most practical thing to do, and because unless you spend a few $1,000s, I don't feel like Facebook ads are cutting it right now just yet. And I feel like for a lot of people that Instagram ads do better. So that's where I'm going with things. I also think that, what was I saying? I also think that a lot of people are just underestimating how much a product, even if it's their own merchandise, could do for them on YouTube. If you had shirts that you were selling and you're a small YouTuber, even with a small audience of a few thousand people, a few hundred of them will be loyal. And if they're buying a t-shirt and it's like a $15 t-shirt, but you're keeping $7 of that, it's going to be quicker for you to get your first $100 check selling your t-shirts than it is with you doing YouTube ads. By far, it's going to be faster. So I would remind all of you that you should be diversifying your revenue, and you should also be really looking hard at like practical ways to sell a product-based like thing. Yeah, I think a product-based business is ridiculously practical for the far majority of you, and you don't realize it. You don't realize your own potential to build a product either around the knowledge you have or a skill that you have. And that's just real to me, which is why more of my videos are going to start, focusing around that. Beauty is Science. Thank you for the $5 super chat. The Toon Twin Show. We're really going to take your advice and sell products for our brand this year with animated short film and also a graphic novel / comic book. Nice. Nice. I like that. Yeah, Wirecast is what I'm using. Share, thank you for the $1 euro. Appreciate you in the super chat. And again, Beauty is Science. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. No, everybody, joining MCNs isn't worth it. I mentioned that earlier. If you're under 100,000 subscribers, joining an MCN isn't worth it. Life is Keys. No, your message didn't come through attached to the super chat. Lawn News Television, what's your thoughts on how YouTube actually helps someone who has a business outside of YouTube? What's the benefits? Oh, for me? Dude, it's like been tremendous for me. That's been my whole thing since the beginning, was siphoning value from YouTube for stuff outside of YouTube the entire time. I built a very nice public speaking career because of YouTube building that for me outside of YouTube. Like, that's real. YouTube also even helped me get freelance writing back in the day. Like, YouTube benefits me more outside of YouTube. It's really all I use it for, to be like, to be real with you, beyond the community building aspect with you guys. Like, YouTube facilitates my ancillary businesses, but my ancillary businesses aren't dependent on YouTube at this point. But it's fantastic marketing. It's my strongest marketing funnel. But Instagram is quickly becoming a rival to that, with me having less followers in Instagram. I have a ridiculously high engagement. I have better engagement in Instagram than people 10 times bigger than me, because I went with a ridiculously, like, brutally honest, like almost bordering on radical honesty strategy in terms of emotional equity in Instagram. And it's paid off, like, very well. It's also been very therapeutic and cathartic for me. And I feel that by being like one of the most realist, rawest people in Instagram, that I'm getting more traction out of that at a much lower level, to where I think that even though I'm at like 9,000 followers in Instagram, I think that if I got to 30 to 40,000 followers in Instagram, I would have more power than if my YouTube channel was at 500,000 subscribers. I think with 40 to 50,000 Instagram followers, I would have more leverage, and I would have a stronger marketing channel through Instagram at 50,000 followers versus my current 9,000 than with my YouTube channel growing to 500,000. I believe that 110%, and I've got data to reflect that. I also think that Instagram is probably the strongest platform for a trust funnel right now. So that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. Jaya asked, if I don't reach 4K hours of watch time and 1K subs in 12 months, can I enable monetization after a year? Only when you reach the threshold. Oh, so Johnny, earlier I read the whole blog from the CEO of YouTube earlier. And that's what, like, I'm going to go through some of my final points on that before we end the stream. Lawn News Television. Okay, and someone with not as many followers as some others can still be as strong of a presence as someone with 1 million followers, and say they have, like you, over 200,000. Yeah, I mean, that works, but again, I still had a lot of leverage at 50,000. I had a lot of leverage at 30,000. I got speaking stuff at 30,000. I have friends who are crushing it at 10,000 or less. Like, I think a lot of you give way too much weight to subscriber count, and I get it because YouTube as a culture encourages that, and the play buttons encourage that, but I think you guys are dramatically underestimating it, because I come from a world of traditional marketing. I know that those smaller numbers, if those people are loyal, are more valuable and more powerful. Because again, like, 300 people doesn't sound like a lot, but 300 product sales is $10,000 to $30,000 of the right product, maybe more. Like, 300 product sales could be 6 figures worth of product moved. If you had a $500 course, even with pre-sales, if you sold it to 300 people, those 300 loyal people out of whatever your following is are worth more than the rest, because they put 6 figures in your pocket on a product launch. So I'm just saying, I think that a lot of you are taking numbers the wrong way. I think a lot of you are taking numbers for granted. General Carl, I did a whole video on how to grow with 0 subscribers. Watch that video. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the letter from Susan, the CEO of YouTube, and I'm not going to read it line for line like I did earlier. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to give you my thoughts on their 5 priorities, and then we're going to close out the stream for tonight so I can actually go back to filming and editing the actual videos for the coming week, because I had to take a week off this week. One, I had some family stuff I had to deal with because of the moving situation, and I had to take care of some stuff for my younger brother, and I had to set up the new office. The new office is amazing. I'll get to a tour at some point. I'm still setting stuff up. I'm still cleaning some things up. But I've started filming. I've filmed this weekend 8 videos. And I've got a bunch of more stuff to film. I've got a lot of product review stuff to do. So there's going to be a lot of content coming out. Plus, I've been filming for my new course launches. So I've been kind of having to double dip on that stuff. And it's just been really intense. And moving is always hard. But what I'm saying is that this week, I'll be hopefully back to regularly scheduled programming for the next couple of weeks in February. That's ideal for me. I'd like to get back on track. There's going to be some double uploads too. But I've been crushing it on filming. I think it's some of my best content, to be honest. I just need to get back into the editing portion of a lot of this because I haven't outsourced the editing just yet. The filming has been better than ever, though. And the new setup is amazing. And I love all the new gear. The audio is going to be better. But there's also going to be some not great audio from some videos that I haven't released yet that were collabs at conferences. I've got plenty of those to come out too, so I have to sit down and edit those. So the next couple of days before I go to Florida to speak at PodFest are going to be massive editing days for me, so that's going to be rough. But let me go through this 5 priorities for YouTube creators in 2018 that Susan put out. So prioritizing transparency and communication. If they actually deliver on this, then it'll be fantastic. The YouTube creators and Team YouTube accounts have been doing much better in Twitter at communicating and answering questions and answering them in a non-vague way, and I super appreciate that. I have been hitting them up with whatever little bit of weight I have with them to answer and putting some public pressure on answering some specific questions sometimes. So, I do that. The thing is, if they deliver on more transparency, which it looks like they're making a genuine effort to do, then I'm all for it. If they deliver on it. And we'll see. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's a huge platform. They won't be able to get to everybody. There's 400 hours of video uploaded. So manual reviews, there's a lot of people. I got into an argument with another YouTube creator in Twitter the other day about the fact that he wants them to do mostly human reviews and not rely so much on bots and algorithms. And I'm like, that's effing stupid. The platform's too big. You can't do that many human reviews. It's impossible. Get over it. The algorithm isn't perfect. The AI isn't perfect. Let's ask them to make it better. Let's put pressure on them to get it right. Let's not tell them to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The thing is essential. It performs a function. It's necessary. It needs to get it right, though. And I keep saying it needs to do a better job of that. I have ideas on how it could do that a little bit better, but it's whatever. If more of us, actually come up with a practical, viable solution that would work instead of a hokey wish list. If most of the creators got their wish list from YouTube, you might as well burn down the platform because it's not going to work. It might as well be VidMe or Vidler. What happened to them? They were trying to appease most of the creators' wish list. What happened to them? Right? It's so again, everybody thinks that they could do a better job of running YouTube, and almost everybody who thinks that they could do a better job of running YouTube than the current people running YouTube has never actually run a real business outside of YouTube. Most of them have never written a line of code in their entire life, but they want to talk about the YouTube algorithm this and the YouTube algorithm that. I actually wrote a clone of the YouTube player back in 2008 when it was Flash-based before Steve Jobs killed off Flash. I don't purport to know everything about it either. But sitting there coding a video player that can use JavaScript and PHP, MySQL commands and calls, and then throw ads and pre-rolls and leverage a video database and locate remote files is not really easy to do when you're just a junior level web developer, but it taught me a lot of things. So when I talk about this and the fact that I have so many homies that are programmers, legit programmers, and I'm hiring web developers for stuff, gives me a little bit of perspective because I actually wrote a little bit of code, and I still write code every now and again, and I'm learning some mobile app development stuff just so that when I hire people they don't cheat me. so I know what they're doing. That's how I run my business. Is like, even if I have to hire someone for a freelancer, I learn the basics of what they do, because then I'm not going to be stupid when I talk to them. I'm not going to ask them things that they can't do. I never ask people to do things that I don't have some knowledge on or that I wouldn't do myself, and I always get my own hands dirty. So when I see a lot of YouTubers criticize the YouTube platform, I see it done from a place of ignorance that has no empathy for what it's like to, one, work a real corporate America job like I did. No one like has any sympathy for the people who code the platform because they never written a line of code in their freaking life. And then no one like who criticized the business priorities of YouTube has actually run a real business. Like, so, you know, that just frustrates me. So I know I'm ranting there, and I'll move on, but like that just really gets my goat. It really ticks me off, and I just wanted to be like really brutally honest with you guys about that. That's like, it really frustrates me when people talk about something and they have no either experience with it, or they haven't really talked to people and looked people dead in the eye that live with it or deal with it. I've looked YouTube employees dead in the eye, and when everyone says, oh, YouTube doesn't care about us or it doesn't care about small creators, I've looked the hardworking employees at YouTube on the campus in the eyes, and I know that they actually care about creators. So like when people say that, I get a little frustrated, because I don't think a lot of these people really like respect how hard it is to build the impossible platform that YouTube actually is. It's ridiculously impossible to build something like with this kind of massive scale. I'm surprised it works nearly half as well as it does. I want it to be better. I'm not giving them a pass on that. I'm just saying I respect it from a practical place. You know, I don't sit there and have a hokey wish list that isn't based in reality. If I was going to change YouTube, it would be based entirely on that. And like, not everyone would love my changes, because my changes would be a lot more fiscally responsible. Like, and that's just being real with you. But I feel like the direction they're moving in is more right than wrong. Can be better though. So supporting your success. Now, this is something I could definitely speak on. I saw the beta for them letting sponsors happen as far as as far as viewers sponsoring content with monthly subscriptions. This is similar to Twitch subscriptions, but they had to call it sponsors. I would have picked a different name, but they wanted to differentiate from Twitch, but it's basically copying Twitch. They started with gamers, just like Twitch, and then they'll move on to other channels and roll that out. I've seen that. I actually did that for a few creators that had it with like $5 a month subscriptions. So they're adding ways outside of ad revenue to monetize, and this will help content creators that may not be able to appease advertisers to get additional revenue and have a different revenue stream. So I'm fully in favor of that. Also, FameBit got acquired by Google and YouTube, so that's another way to go about direct sponsorships, and there's more sponsorship opportunities than there's ever been there. You do have to meet the threshold of having 5,000 subscribers, but again, like, you don't have much to offer a sponsor if you don't have at least the ability to prove growth in a fan base. And to be honest with you, now that I have a sponsor campaign running in FameBit for the YouTube starter kit, I'm seeing a lot of what creators are getting wrong with sponsors. And again, so far, I have not been impressed with the two people that I hired as creators to do sponsored content for me. I'm not going to call them out or anything. I'm just going to say I'm not impressed. And the communication wasn't great. I wasn't thrilled with how they delivered for me. And it's only been 2 days, and so I'm giving it time. But even with a couple of thousand views, they haven't converted a single sale yet, which means that, and for the way we budgeted it, I need to make at least 2 or 3 sales to make my money back. And so I'm considering this just a lesson in what to look for in influencers, which I already knew, but I wanted to give some, specific creators, types of creators, a chance. And in giving those smaller or different type of creators a chance, I pretty much burned my money. I pretty much, pissed my money away. But it's a good lesson, and it gives me a good case study. So, lesson learned. But also the proposals for most creators, like out of 108 proposals, I literally had to decline and throw out 92 of them outright. because of how poorly they were written. So I feel that if ad revenue and sponsors are the primary ways that some creators are making their money, it's only going to get harder for them because the competition is going to get better, is going to get harder for ads and sponsors, because meeting the threshold of acceptable quality for what people are willing to spend money on as businesses is going to get much more ruthless, because we're tired of wasting money. Like, that's just real. So if there's more ways to monetize the actual audience in terms of donations and selling merchandise and ticketing sales, and YouTube's implementing those things, I'm more in favor of that, and for more creators directly monetizing their audience, because to be frank, the majority of creators are not offering enough to a real business in terms of them getting a return on their investment. And I say that as a small business owner. Like, that's real to me. So they're number two as far as supporting success. And not every creator is going to be advertiser friendly. Not every creator is going to be able to align with a business sponsor. Going to your audience, and your audience, depending on their age, may not have a lot of disposable cash, but even if a few hundred of them support you, you can make a living on YouTube. So, that's real. Giving people more ways to engage with videos. If they're going to open up the community tab to people with less than 10,000 subscribers, I think that the threshold should be 5,000 or 1,000 if they open it up to more people. I personally think having the community tab at 10,000 makes sense, because there is a very strong active community, at least at 10,000. If only 10% of them are active, that's still 1,000 people, so that makes sense. But if they lower it to 5,000, I'd be good with that. 1,000 seems like that's, very generous, but I'm not going to hate on it if they go that route. But I also feel like there should be more things at that 10K level so that people strive. Because at 10,000, you have all the resources and all the tools as a fully active YouTuber, as a fully engaged YouTuber. And I think that gives an incentive for people to be strivers and to keep trying to grow their audience. I mean, I know they would anyway, and I know a lot of people are going for 100K for the silver play button acknowledgement, but I feel like there has to be that push to get you to 10K if you're going to go further, and I feel like, that's interesting to me to build it out that way. But Reels, I think, is going to roll out to people with 100,000 or more, plus people who are in the beta. I'm trying to get into the beta for that. And I'm interested to see what they do with that. I think that it'll be very different than Instagram stories, because I feel like that on-the-fly content is interesting while people are producing their content, and keeping it native to YouTube could be fascinating. But I would still use Instagram and Instagram stories. I don't think it kills Instagram stories. I think it's something similar to people who enjoy that way of storytelling without it taking away from what Instagram stories is. So I just think it's giving that to YouTubers versus competing that truly with Instagram as a platform. Tightening enforcement and their policies. This is probably the more controversial one out of their 5 priorities, because of the fact that it involves the machine learning, the 10,000 people that they're putting in charge of some manual reviewing, and things to do with the algorithm. And also, some people are upset that they're working with the Anti-Defamation League. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Granted, someone could say, well, you're biased, or you're like, the reason I don't have a problem with it is it's like, as an organization, the goals of the Anti-Defamation League are fine. If you have a problem with the actual individual policies or the people, then that's a matter of getting a more balanced group of people working with that organization. It doesn't mean that the organization's mission is wrong. It just means that maybe getting involved in the process and then influencing leadership in that way by being part of it would be the answer. Because again, I believe in solutions. It's like, companies and organizations evolve and grow based on the people that are involved with them. Like, if you don't like the way something is, get involved and be active, or create an alternative that serves the same purpose. Netflix became an alternative to Blockbuster. We got something better because of that. That's how innovation works. So I would encourage people, instead of, I hate this thing, is like, build the alternative, because that's the real answer. Build something that does the same thing but does it better. If you think that something is, something's underrepresented or there's a bias out there, then create a viable alternative that accomplishes the goal, and does it fairly. Not just be the opposite or the anti this. build something that's for the purpose that makes sense or whatever. So there's that aspect of it. I don't know that, like, some people says that like it's censoring things or censored. It's like, I'm like, whatever. Like, it's their company. It's a private company. Those things don't extend to corporations. Like, like, that's just business. That's how it is. And if we want ad revenue for the 95% of creators who don't have a vested interest in that, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to protect the 95, and I'm going to root for the 95% of people that can and should make money on this platform unchallenged, then lose out on money for those people to protect this very small vocal group of people that mostly are going rogue or doing questionable things. And not all of them are, but enough of them are. It's like, I kind of would rather triple the ad revenue of the 95% of these creators than cut all ad revenue across the board in half because we make advertisers skittish by having XYZ type of content on this platform versus just creating a different platform for that type of content. So that's kind of my ruthless corporate answer to that. And again, that's not going to be everything that, not everyone's going to be a fan of that, but as a business owner and as someone who's buying ads, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't want ads running on this, and this, and yeah, I can opt out of it, and yeah, I could train my people. That's not a perfect system. You think the algorithm's bad for YouTube viewers? Try using the AdWords system as an advertiser sometime. It's not great, and it got better recently. Thank you, but it's never been that good. And marketers, a lot of them are older, a lot of them are not tech savvy. Child-proofing it is probably for the best, to be real with you. If it's my money you're spending, yeah. So again, in terms of protecting my money as an advertiser, yeah, there's things I'm going to be in favor of that make me uncomfortable as a creator. I'm playing both sides here, so I'm a little bit empathetic. And creators, we've been taking advantage of the way the YouTube system exists for a while now, and it's been very laissez-faire about certain things, but from the advertiser perspective, that's not good. And if they have a justification for taking their money out, that's bad for creators, especially the creators that have to make most of their living off ad revenue. So I don't want those vulnerable people losing their money because of a few people. So I'm kind of having to, like, YouTube, do what you gotta do is kind of the direction I'm gonna go on that one. Just because, again, I get it. It sucks, and it sucks if you're in that group of people that gets hurt by that, but they're trying to make it better. And again, I want ad revenue to go up for the majority of people, especially people who've already been living off of their ad revenue or employing people with it. I would rather they diversify their revenue as much as they can and not rely on it. But if they already are, I want them protected in some way if they're doing everything that's within the community guidelines. The thing I don't like is I don't like the extent to which YouTube cherry picks the enforcement of their own rules. I can call them out on that, but from a business standpoint, I understand why they do it. I just don't like it. I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing to some extent. Maybe I wouldn't have the same version of it, but I could see why. It makes business sense. It's not fair to the community, but like, fairness and consumerism is like, that's a lot to ask sometimes in capitalism. I would prefer we had more of it. I would prefer more fairness. I would prefer more transparency, frankly. But I also understand the realistic business reasons why it doesn't happen in the way that as consumers we would prefer, from the standpoint of the upfront cost to the business. And as more of you are growing from just being a content creator to also being a business owner in your own right, I think that you'll start to understand the kind of compromises that platforms and businesses and companies like YouTube and the advertisers make. And it sounds horrible, but it's like when you're in that position and when it's your money, you start to think about it in a very different way, and you start to appreciate it in a very different way. And that's just the reality. It's like the grass is always greener, right? It's just one of those things. It's one of those things like you don't understand your parents until you find yourself in the same circumstances that your parents found themselves in, and then, oh, I get it now. I hated that when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, oh boy, do I get it. Like, I mean, that's real too. That evolution happens as a content creator. That evolution happens as a business person. There are a lot of you that are small YouTubers that think that, like, this gets better, quote unquote, at a bigger subscriber count. You'll find that the same problems you have are the same problems that you are going to always have. You will still get trolls, whether you have 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 100,000, a million, 10 million. You'll still have trolls and haters. You'll still have people commenting your appearance. You'll still have people making racial slurs about you. You'll still have people just saying mean things for the sake of saying mean things. There's no amount of subscriber count that's going to change that for you. You'll still have the struggle, no matter whether you're making a full-time living on this or not, of prioritizing your time. That problem will not go away just because you move to making more ad money or making more money. Like, you'll still struggle with prioritizing your time. I would know. I just moved houses. I'm doing other things to grow my business. I'm traveling all the time. I actually am less consistent now that I have more quote-unquote money and time, theoretically. I really don't, because the time is divided with more priorities. That's what happens with growth. The problems actually magnify with growth. They don't get smaller. Like, sorry, I that may not be encouraging enough, but it is the reality. But there are things that get better. You build a deeper relationship with your community. More money is fantastic if you can invest it back into either things you love, or a lifestyle, or your growth, or your gear if you love that, like I do. So those things get better. But the problems do incrementally increase as well, and that's just a balance of, are you doing the content you love becomes much more important, because if you don't love it but you've been doing it because it makes you money, burnout will get much more burnout will happen more quickly as the demand for you to do the content that makes you successful or makes you the money grows, if you're not doing the content that you love. And that's why you see a lot of big YouTubers burn out. So, like, those are just some of the realities of YouTube. I wanted to bring that up. Investing more in learning and education. I think we can all be on board with this one. And this obviously helps channels like mine and a lot of the channels that I watch. But I am really for YouTube making more of an investment in education. I just don't know what form that would take. Are they planning to do some kind of grants for education-based channels? And if they do, is that just going to be for bigger channels, or is it going to be for up-and-coming education channels? What are they going to do? Are they going to run some contest for grants or something like that, like what they did in the old days? Are education channels going to get a bump in the algorithm? Like, I don't know. When they say they want to invest more in education and they're focused on it, I don't know what that means. So I'm very curious about some clarity in that, and maybe they'll reveal more in the coming weeks and months. But those are what my personal thoughts. We did Q&A, and I got some of your feedback, and I read you guys the thing verbatim. But those are some of my personal thoughts on where YouTube is going for 2018. Like, and again, I know everyone won't agree with everyone. Everyone has their own perspective, and everyone has their own version of that. But, like, you know, that's just how I feel about it. Jen Adventures TV, are you going to be in the YouTube session at PodFest? I am keynoting and opening up the YouTube session, so I'm opening up YouTube Day at PodFest, and I'm doing 2 talks in the YouTube sessions, and I'm doing a main talk during the main conference about YouTube. So those things are happening. So let's go and see some of your thoughts here in the chat, and then I'm a bounce. Amazon's tube will save the day. Don't count on it. Patty Brossard, thank you for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate you and all the knowledge you share. Thank you so much. Super appreciate you. Andreen says, Roberto, I make a fast-paced trailer of what's going on in the video prior to the actual vlog, and it seemed to lose viewer count before the trailer even ends. How do I retain viewers? If you're doing something and you're seeing a drop-off, then Don't do that thing. Go back to what has historically worked in the data. Awesome UAVs. Loving the info and experience being presented. Oh, thank you. Education can be expensive in so many ways. I totally agree, dude. Appreciate that. Commander Vlogs. Hey, Roberto, how are you? I'm doing good, man. Getting a little tired, but I'm good. Sane Auto. The ones who think they know the most usually know the least. Those who know realize how much there is to learn. Yep. Absolutely. Always more to learn, buddy. Tube questions. I know I definitely wouldn't be able to run YouTube any better, and I have done some coding, etc., let alone someone who never has. Oh, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I'm speaking at PodFest in Orlando. That's February 8th through 10th. I'm going to be speaking there. I'm going to be doing 3 sessions plus opening up keynoting YouTube Day. I'm going to give a great motivational speech for creators to open up the day, seeded with some practicality, get people in the game, and that's going to be a big deal. Then I'm going to have a session on monetization, one on growth, and I think that that's going to be awesome. And then the main event, I'm going to be doing the Podcaster's Guide to YouTube. So I think that's going to help you. Roberto, guide me how to approach companies for freelance. Videos on that are coming soon, Himat Singh. Videos coming soon. Roberto, getting physically tired yet? Yeah, 3 hours is kind of that limit. Eric Freisinger. Roberto, dropping so much truth. I hear bubbles bursting all over the place. Some much needed advice. Yeah. Boom. Drop it like it's hot. So yeah. Just looking at some of the responses here. So yeah. Commander Vlogs, I wish I could stay longer. Yeah, you don't have to. I'm getting ready to bounce myself because I've got to rest, eat, edit, all the good things, rehydrate, shower, all of that. Tube question says, you're really close to 300K. My friend Sarah crushed it. She surpassed me again. Like, Sarah and I, like, zoom past each other every now and again. This is probably the second or third time Sarah Dici has ever surpassed me. Super proud of her. She's doing ridiculously good content, and she has a new podcast and a new channel for that podcast, Creative Exchange. You guys should definitely check that out. Always plug my friends. And she's at over 300,000 now. She did an amazing job. Her content is clutch. It's quality versus quantity, but there's still a decent amount of quantity there. I do quality and quantity, but it's a balance. My threshold of quality, not as high as her in the different value proposition, but you know, that's just like something I look at, and it's like, and I love like how many friends I have in the YouTube community of different sizes of audience and community, and I love how we all still connect, and how, like, to us, we don't really care about subscriber count when we're hanging out. Like, what we care about is how we relate to each other and how we support each other and how we can do just more awesome things. So, like, I'm really proud of what Sarah's been doing. We did a collab for those of you who are trying to be full-time YouTubers, and she explains it, and she explains, like, how, like, freelancing let her do YouTube. So, you know, I just really respect what she's built. I wish I had Sarah's level of talent and hustle at 10 years ago, because she's 10 years younger than me, and her talent level, her hustle level, and the humility of how she seeks out older and smarter people all the time to learn from, and she keeps getting better. And she's like 23, about to be 24. She keeps getting better, and it's like scary. It's like scary how good she is. Like, so that to me is real. And her boyfriend John Hill is like one of the most humble and inspiring, like, motivational people that I think I've ever met. I think John has it in him to be a motivational speaker, honestly. I don't think that's his goal, but, like, if he ever became a motivational speaker or a motivational figure, he would crush it. He would crush it. He has, like, some, like, Tony Robbins stuff inside of him, and I don't even know if he really realizes it. So, like, you know, those are people that I respect in the YouTube community. Those are people that I, like, admire, that I'm happy to call friends. And so I just like helping my friends. I like seeing what they're doing. I like encouraging them. I actually like when my friends are successful. I actually like when my friends surpass me. So, like, it doesn't bother me. I'm running my own race. Like, I like seeing, like, other people realize their potential is where I derive a lot of my happiness with, because it satisfies my curiosity about what people can become, because I like transformation, I like evolution. I think that's why I'm a creative. I think that's why I'm an artist. I think that's why I'm the way that I am. I think that's why I like being an educator. I think that at the end of the day, that, and it's slow growth, especially in this platform, but maybe they'll get better. Maybe the algorithm starts favoring me more because of the shifts YouTube's making toward education. You know, but and I think some of my new strategies are actually going to grow the channel, even if I don't really prioritize it, because I keep taking traffic away to make money. Like, if I really wanted to grow on YouTube, I would keep people on YouTube more. But I like making money, so I take people off YouTube to things that make me money outside of YouTube. So there is that. But, like, my thing is, I think I like being an educator because I like playing that role in people's lives of being a catalyst for their potential. And I like seeing what they become. I think it satisfies an intellectual curiosity that I've always had. I think that it is what attracts me to creativity as a whole, is to see what can be brought out of something, making something from something else. Like, I think that that's just what's always been at my core, and I think that it is the foundation of what's made me successful. So, you know, there's that. Can I mention their names again? Yeah, Sarah Dietschy and John Hill. Yeah, Sarah definitely is a genius. Totally agree. It's Sarah Dietschy. You can find it if you type in Sarah Peachy. You'll find her. Like, easy. Oh, wow. We like, wow, we managed to go 3 hours change, and we just got our first troll. Yep. Won the box. No, she's like one of the dopest humans that I think I've ever met. Um, like, I keep other certain things, like, to myself, but, like, I have a tremendous respect for the talent that I see in my friends, and so I always hype up my friends. And the thing is, I always get questions every time I have one of my female friends on the channel. I always get the most interesting questions, and it's like, I get it, guys, but, like, that's not where my head is at when I have my female friends on my channel. And that's not, like, kind of like the way I roll, is like, these are my homies, and these are people that in some cases I'm doing some business stuff with on the back end. And so, like, that's kind of, if you know me and you have context on me, you know that that's not where my headspace is, and that, like, I'm very much about where we're trying to go. And the people who are closest to me know where I'm at. Like, that's, you know, that's what I'll say about it. Like, the people closest to me know where I'm at. And so it's just that I'm genuinely happy for my friend's success, and I like being instrumental in the successes as many people as possible. Um, so that's where I'm at. Ugh. All right, 3 hours, guys. 3 hours. Christ. Um, so yeah, I'm going to call it a night. Wow, it's 10:30. Oh, jeez. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna try to decide whether or not I'm gonna go visit my friend Daniel or not, and Maybe I'm going to actually do some more work on this course that I'm releasing. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The replay will be up. YouTube's going to process all of that stuff. Thank you to everybody for the super chats. Thank you to everybody who tuned in live. Thank you if you are this far in the replay. Wow, you're a beast. You're a champion. What do I want you guys to... Oh, I know what I want to ask you guys to do. Okay, so guys... Be sure to check out awesomecreatoracademy.com for 3 reasons. 1, if you ever wanted to do coaching with me, the information and the pricing is there. If you want coaching or if you want private channel reviews, if you want to buy the YouTube starter kit, that's there, link in the description. Also, live stream audience, you get a discount code. Those are usually temporary, so get it while it's hot. The other reason is you should go to awesomecreatoracademy.com to reverse engineer it and understand one of the business models that I have outside of YouTube, because Awesome Creator Academy does very well for me. My first product launch did $10,000 in revenue in 60 days. So that's, practical for you guys to look at. What is Roberto doing? How is he making money outside of YouTube? How can I build a digital product or course? How can I build a coaching business? Look at awesomecreatoracademy.com, reverse engineer what I've done there, and that might actually be ridiculously profitable for some of you out there. And then if there are things that I offer in Awesome Creator Academy that can help you, then you should take advantage of that. We also have a resource list over there. I'm debating doing a blog. A blog could be good for that because it could drive more traffic and then convert to sales, especially if I build the blogs around the products. So, we're looking into that. And then we have the mentoring group. We have the Awesome Creator Academy mentoring group. It is a paid subscription every month, but it is a fantastic group. We have over 100 entrepreneurs in that group. We're helping each other market, mindset. We're doing masterminds. We're talking about different ways to monetize. I'm helping people craft their messaging, and I'm also helping people figure out what is a practical process for what they're trying to accomplish. So, we do a lot of good stuff in there. And then there are other people that are helping beyond me. We've got Carlos Gillen there. We've got Owen Video. Brian G and Mckinnon are in there. A lot of other YouTube creators. We have creators with 6-figure businesses, 7-figure businesses. We have people who just reached 10K. We have people who've reached over 100,000. So there's a lot of people in there, even outside of YouTube. There are people there that can also mentor you as your peers. So we have a great community. Actually, I just see that somebody just signed up, so that's awesome. So super appreciate you guys. So yeah, there's a lot that I'm offering with Awesome Creator Academy. Oh, I saw 2 more of you just bought the YouTube starter kit. So awesome. Hope that helps you out. And yeah, just one more thing. I'm going to show you guys, again, the YouTube starter kit. Wait a minute. Click the wrong button there. There we go. So YouTube starter kit is one of the things I offer here on awesomecreatoracademy.com. And it's a digital product. What it is 100 plus Photoshop templates plus a lot of other goodies. It's $99. Live stream audience has a little discount code in the description. And I update it. You get unlimited access to the new content. And this might be able to help you if you're struggling with the visual presentation of your YouTube videos. And the visual presentation might be undermining your views because you need more views. Views give you everything else. Views get clicks. Clicks are watch time. Clicks are subscribers, right? So you get that, you get channel artwork, all these things that could help you, lower thirds, end card templates. So there's a lot you can do with this. And I also am giving you links to a bunch of royalty-free music that you could download for free, free fonts. I also give you 100 ideas for doing videos, a bunch of Canva assets. I'm going to do some more stuff. And so I think that there's a lot of great things here with the YouTube Starter Kit that might be able to help some of you in growing your channel. But that's there, and you can purchase it. But I have other things you can look at. We've got the resource list here, and it tells you some of the things I'm using. Some of you are trying to start a website. Bluehost is great, and they hooked up our community with a fantastic deal. Instead of $7.99 a month, it's $2.95 a month. So that's a ridiculous price slash. So robertoblake.com/bluehost gets you that discount. TubeBuddy's hooked us up with a discount. My invoicing software, FreshBooks, for those of you who are freelancers, FreshBooks has a free tier of their invoicing software, and that could help you. It also does accounting, so it can help you track your expenses. That's what helps me during tax time. Like, so I'm putting out a lot of practical resources over at Awesome Creator Academy. I'm putting out things to help you guys. And like I said, build a business outside of YouTube. Build a business outside of YouTube. It really matters. I cannot stress that enough. When will the next time I do a live stream? It may or may not be next weekend because I will be traveling. I will be in Orlando. For those of you who are going to Podfest, I will be going to Podfest and I will be speaking. I'll be doing the keynote to open up YouTube Day, and I will be doing 2 YouTube sessions in YouTube Day. At Podfest, and then in the main session, I will be doing the Podcaster's Guide to YouTube. So I'll be doing 3 speaking sessions at Podfest, plus the keynote. So 4 speaking sessions from me. And so if you're going to be in Orlando, Florida, Podfest is from the 8th to the 10th, and I will be there. So you have an opportunity to hang. You'll ask questions. And so since I'm going to be gone for a couple of days, and I might stay one more day to do Disney again, then I don't know if we get a live stream next weekend. We may or may not. When will the replay be available? YouTube's going to take maybe 2 hours to process this. That's a transitional thing in the background. That's just some art here for the office, and I'm going to get some more art, and some of the walls I have to keep bare for filming, but there's other parts of the walls that I can put stuff up, and there's other parts in the house that I'm going to put a bunch of art I'm going to commission from people and buy some of my friends' stuff. I'm going to probably end up getting something commissioned from Timmy Ham. So he's dope. So I'm going to probably commission stuff from him. Anyway, guys, that's it. So this is the end of the stream for real. I got to go. Got to rehydrate. And do some things. So anyway, guys, go out there, create something awesome today. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you everybody who did reviews, everybody who did super chat, and I will catch you guys next time. Tune into the YouTube channel tomorrow. There will be a new upload. Tune in for the rest of the week. There will be new uploads probably daily because I've filmed 8 videos this weekend. I'm filming more stuff tomorrow, and not just stuff for my courses, but more content for the channel. So I'm going to be dropping the videos that I've filmed plus some old content I haven't edited all this week. So you'll want to stay tuned. I'm also going to be dropping this week the interview I did with Mckinnon. I've salvaged the audio to be okay because we were at Vid Summit, but me and Mckinnon did an awesome collab, and I'm dropping that this week, so definitely stay tuned. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.